To the Queen City on Friday night as the Blue Bombers make their first trip back to Mosaic since their heartbreaking Grey Cup loss. The Riders hoping to hand them yet another loss in Regina as they, like Winnipeg, look to move to 2-0 on the season.
Consistent greatness. That's how you describe this man. Since he stepped on the ring in 2019 as Winnipeg Blue Bombers, all he's done is lead him to 3 straight Grey Cups. Can he do it for a 4th time?
Jamal Morrow, we know he's an elite running back going up against an elite defense. Who's going to be the hammer and who's going to be the nail? That's what I want to know.
This guy is called a Swiss Army knife. He's called a possession receiver. But he's also a big play guy. What a combination. Canadian Nick Dembski.
Well, after taking that monster hit at the end of their last game, it is expected that Trevor Harris is good to go. The hip pointer seems to be okay. Britt Dort standing by, though. She's going to give us the latest. Mason Fine as well warming up. So we are still awaiting, but fans obviously excited to see their new QB. And we say hello from Vancouver, British Columbia. The party getting started here a day early ahead of the Lions home opener against the Elks. We are at Terry Fox Plaza. The crowd is out. The weather could not be better. The excitement here in this city for the Lions is just palpable at this point. It's been a great week so far. Obviously, we've got the big game tomorrow as well. But for this game coming up, for the Riders and the Blue Bombers, I mean, they just do not disappoint.
No, and the rivalry has been going on. And one thing about a rivalry, it seems to change year to year. It hasn't been the case recently. It's been Winnipeg. But what's the constant in Winnipeg? Of course, the coaching staff and all other things. But quarterback, great quarterback play. The Riders hope they have that. Now with Trevor Harris, let's see how he feels.
Absolutely, and I look at the momentum here, Kate. What they're building here in Omar Dome and how it's infectious, and they get 30 plus already, and the whole lower bowl is filled. And they start adding layers to the top bowl. It's a difficult place to come in here and get a win. Now, I remember back in the day, we'd light it up, and boy, it was loud. It was tough on opposition, Mill.
Rivalry, as you mentioned, means teams are going back and forth winning games, right? That hadn't been the case since Zach Gallara stepped on the scene. So it is a rivalry, but the Bombers have controlled it of late.
I gotta tell you, finally the crowd's getting excited because they can actually see themselves on the Jumbotron as well. So obviously a great atmosphere here in BC, but also a great atmosphere over in Regina as we now welcome in our Britt Dort. Britt, as I mentioned off the top of the show, we do expect Trevor Harris to start this game, but Mason Fine's been in the mix. What's the latest on the quarterbacking situation?
Well, I'm guessing that it's going to be Trevor Harris, but I have to talk about the whirlwind of a week that it's been for both him and Mason Fine. Backing up to Tuesday, when it was our first practice of the week, we saw Mason Fine taking reps at QB1, so we thought, okay, something's going on here. Wednesday was a closed practice where we found out Trevor Harris wasn't even at practice. Then Thursday came around, and he was back taking reps with the ones at the walkthrough. And then, well, the depth chart comes out, and we see that he's actually a game-time decision. But I see him standing next to me pretty close here, and I'm going to guess that it's him, but he did tell me yesterday he has a 4.0 10-point checklist that he had to hit in order to be ready with that injury that he's dealing with. So he said, I have to make sure that I can protect myself and also play, good enough for my teammates, because it's not fair to them. He said the other two on the checklist are kind of my own things. I have to know if I'm mobile enough, but he wants to play. And then when I talked to Craig Dickinson, he told me, well, I know he wants to play, but I get final say. We're going to see how warm-ups go. We're going to see how he feels, and then we're going to see what the training staff has to say. And then he goes, I get final decision. So there's the head coach coming in saying, no, we want to make sure we're not taking any risks here in week 2. There's still plenty of season left. You don't want to make those injuries any worse. But after watching warm-ups, we've seen Harris take a lot of reps, and I'm guessing he's going to be the guy to get the start in this rivalry game.
I love it. Half an hour to kick off, and we're still waiting, but we will keep you updated on the situation for sure. Let's talk about these Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And before the start of the season, we did wonder, would age play a factor? Okay, game 1, and I get it, it's one game into the season. The cohesiveness of this team, starting with Zach Collaros, was absolutely phenomenal. Ends up going for 354 yards, 3 TDs, and they put Hamilton to bed, Chess. They did.
Look, it's scary because we think of them as a ball control team, right? That's the Bombers. This is what scares me most about the Bombers this year is they run the ball, they control it, but they took more deep shots last week than anybody else. They took 2 deep shots a quarter. So for a team that has a great O-line, a great run game, but now they're also talking about vertical shots, they're more explosive than everybody else. So that is a problem for the rest of the league when they get that clicking as well, and that's without Kenny Lawler. Remember that.
Hey, you're absolutely right, because Brady Oliveira, 171 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's controlling. You get people creeping up. And Buck Pierce, offense coordinator, is going to tap into Zach Collaros the way he sees the field so quickly and go deep and take those shots. But he's up against a defense that he's had a lot of success with since becoming a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. 7 starts, 1,800 yards, 72% completion percentage, 15 TDs and 4 picks. Zach Collaros absolutely feasts on Saskatchewan defense, a defense that we're going to talk about a little bit later on that is solid as they come. So I'm really excited about this matchup, Collaros against this D.
One of the most difficult things to do as a player is to get up every single game, every single play. But as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, you have to, because when a team comes in, they're trying to take you down because they understand you're at the top of the mountain, and they know if they can beat you, they can say, we beat the team that's gone to the Grey Cup the last 3 years, the team that's at the top. So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, every time they step on the field, they have to be at their best.
You wanted to say defending champs.
I did. I wanted to.
They've been so dominant last few years.
I was about to.
You're absolutely right, though. And you're going to get everybody's best. But what happened to the Bombers last week, falling asleep late, I guarantee it, there was some coachable moments 100%. That allowed those coaches to dig into that football team and said, nah, we're not playing like that.
They absolutely took their foot off the gas, but they got the job done. And you don't think that they don't want to go into Mosaic tonight and win this football game?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. By the way, you might have heard some booing. These Lions fans saw some Edmonton fans roll in, and they were not pleased. These guys doing a great job. We'll be back with plenty more pregame right after this.
This is a well-oiled machine, but we almost expect greatness.
Collaros towards the end zone. Dembski got it. Touchdown, Winnipeg. There's a reason he's a back-to-back MVP. He knows these guys. He knows how they break. Volotarski in the end zone. Defender falls. Touchdown. Collaros strikes again.
I mean, the fans had to enjoy that.
Have to be happy with where they started tonight. Bombers fans winning in very convincing fashion.
Whenever you have something really cold and then you get this short, sharp kind of sensation, that's sensitivity. It can get worse. I always recommend Sensodyne, which is specially designed to care for their sensitive teeth. It works.
With the Triangle credit card, banking is so easy, you can do it with one hand. Because let's face it, life can be a handful. This is not just a credit card. This is the freedom to bank with us anytime, anywhere. Download the app today.
BK Mosa here, and you know there's 3. Classic bacon and spicy. Flame grilled patty on a toasted bun with the caramelized onions. Now I want one. BK, have it your way.
Wisely done, my friend. Wisely done.
Hey, I'm Richard, and yeah, I'm hungry. Thanks to good food and their no food waste mission, I haven't had a decent scrap in months. Gooder? It's not even a word.
When it feels like all that's left is work hard, it's time to play again. Easily find your next favorite game with Bodog.net. Free casino games, poker tips, and sports odds. Make a play.
The FanDuel 5, the 5 most staked anytime touchdown scores for Friday Night Football. It is Blue Bombers across the board tonight. Dalton Schoen has the shortest odds to find the end zone tonight. He led the league in touchdowns last season, but he didn't score in week number 1. Nick Dembski and Brady Oliveira are both looking to find the end zone in back-to-back weeks. It is time for the experts, though. They've been doing quite well. I've been doing horribly, so I think you should listen to them. Ches, first of all, your anytime touchdown scorer for tonight.
Well, I talked about him earlier. It's Nick Dembski. Look, he does it all, and when they get down the red zone, he's a guy that Zach depends on. I got Dembski.
I got Dembski too. I'm following on your coattails. He's just too good of a football player. You called him the Swiss Army knife. That's a perfect description for him because he can do it all, and he usually does, Milt.
Trevor Harris got hit hard last week, and he's hurt right now. He's not going to want to get hit much this game. What's the quickest way to get the ball out of your hand? Give it to him.
Yeah.
Jamal Morrow. Run it to him or throw it to him, and because of that, he's going to score a touchdown.
You put a lot of effort into this week, Stiegel. I like it.
Smooth,
I did not put a lot of effort into mine. I'm going to be honest here. I took Brady Oliveira, as we mentioned. He did not score in week number 1, so I'm thinking this is going to be a make-up game. Let's take a look at this leaderboard. I really don't want to, but I'm going to anyways. Ches, you're leading the way at 1 and 2. That's not the greatest record in the world, but you're tied with Milton, Matt. I don't know why we still put you at the top. I mean, this is terrible. AK is supposed to be a sharp guy as well, and all of a sudden he's 0 and 3 just for me. You hear the cheering going on behind us right now, and that is because we are joined by the owner of the BC Lions, Amar Doman. Amar, first of all, thank you so much for having us out here, experiencing the plaza behind us. It's been a tremendous week for you yourself, starting with BC Lions Day on Monday, all the way to the game tomorrow. How does this feel, seeing the fans and the atmosphere and the vibe so far?
You know, it feels amazing, and also a really big thanks to TSN for coming out here. This is just jacking up the city here. This is fantastic. So honored to sit with you guys, you know, watch you guys for years, all that stuff. But really seeing the city amp up, the community here is now engaged, which it's been a little tough out here, you know, a number of years ago, and things were a little slow. We've tried our best to really amp up the CFL number 1, BC Lions 2. And let's get them both going in tandem now and really rebuild the franchise. But more importantly, make sure on the West Coast here, this heartbeat is absolutely pumping in British Columbia.
As a guy that grew up here, played here, one of the things you said, I felt confident in what you were bringing. Because as soon as you got here, you said, me and my family, we're not going anywhere. We're committed. We're going to be here. And that was the strongest thing for me. Where'd that commitment come from, and why are you so confident in the long-term picture of the Lions?
You know, 100%. And, you know, obviously we're in businesses as well. We don't sell things, we build things. And I'll tell you what, you know, evidenced here by the BC Lions, and also the team is playing fantastic. This team will be in our family's hands, hopefully for decades. It's on solid footing.
Love it.
First of all, where were you in the late 80s? You know, we could have used you back then. Yeah, no, but glad you're here now. And how much do you actually share with other owners across the league? Do you have like-minded practices that you're sharing with them? Because things are amping up out here, and we need to see that across the league.
Well, you know, Matt, since we kind of got involved, we've been, you know, had some teams reach out to us to say, what's going on? You know, can we kind of emulate what's going on in the West? Because, you know, you have to put a lot in to get something out of something. We all know that. And I'll tell you that we have had some reach-ins for that, but also we're just out doing our thing, and we're happy to share whatever is going on for the good of the league, because the CFL is good everywhere that we're good. I think we've got the best ownership structure we have had in a long time in the league. It's very stable.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Well, I'm honest. This is a serious and a joking question. I always used to say if I owned a team, I wouldn't only own the team, I would get my Vince McMahon on, and I would actually get involved and actually play with the team. Have you ever thought about that? Seriously?
I did once, and I sobered up.
Nice.
I thought you were going to ask me if you could meet LL Cool J. This is all Milt's been talking about. Amar, thank you so much once again. We can't wait to be here tomorrow at the game. It should be a party just like it is today. Congratulations once again on the success.
Thank you guys for being out.
All right, we're going to be talking plenty of Lions, but of course we need to go back to the game that we'll be covering tonight. The Riders taking on the Blue Bombers, and for the Riders, it starts with their defense.
Loxley for the lead, trying to push ahead, working his way towards the end zone, and he is denied. Riders defense does the job, and will do it again. Loxley trying to find a way through, pushing in. Did they stop him again? A second effort. Is that enough? Stopped just short again. What a stand by Saskatchewan. Loxley is the third time the charm for Edmonton, or can the Riders defense put together a full denial? Loxley now takes it out, and he's stopped. Roland Milligan is there, and the Riders defense shuts the door.
What are you doing?
Well, the Riders D stepped up big against the Elks last week, picking off Taylor Cornelius twice en route to a 17-13 win over at Commonwealth Stadium. Their 5 sacks were second most in the CFL last week, and they finished with 41 total tackles. Roland Milligan leading the way with 6 tackles and an interception on his own. With much more, let's send it over to Glenn Suter.
Well, thank you, Kate. And yes, that defense played so well in the first win of the season for Saskatchewan against Edmonton. And the guy that set the tone was free safety Jaden Dalkey out of the U of Alberta, who started with a big hit on Geno Lewis. And, you know, when you look at this young safety who earned the job in training camp, really his first year as the legit starter at free safety, and he set that tone that led to a great example, which was that goal line stand, which really changed the game and won the game for Saskatchewan late. I wanted to bring it to your attention because of how he made those big hits over the middle. It's been really tough for defensive backs throughout the last 5 to 10 years to try and navigate the new rules, how you target, what you lead with. You can't hit with your head first. It's got to be in the midsection of the receiver. So it's been quite a challenge for defensive backs to learn how to hit properly, but still keep that high level of physicality. And Jaden Dalkey did just that. So let's take a look at a couple of his big hits that really set the tone for Saskatchewan on defense. And I want to show you that he doesn't target. There's going to be incidental helmet-to-helmet contact on this hit, which is going to happen almost all the time. But he goes to the midsection. He leads with his chest. Again, on the second big hit of the game for Dalkey. Watch how he gets his head out of the hit, lowers the right shoulder so that he's leading with the shoulder. Physicality still there, but no penalty flag on the play. It set the tone that set up this goal line stand, and yeah, on second down, it was Dalkey who stepped in and made the tackle and actually forced a fumble. Kate, we got 2 great safeties in this game. Brandon Alexander, who is a thumper, and Larry Dean called Jaden Dalkey, when we talked to him this week, he said, Jaden Dalkey's a thumper as well. He's a new guy, but he's making his mark. Kate?
Can't wait to watch Suits for sure. Fans in Regina getting set to see their team for the first time at home this season. But of course, for the fans here in BC, they're going to have to wait till tomorrow. The Elks rolling into town, and we cannot wait for this one. But really, Saski's D just so impressive in that game. The goal line stand was phenomenal, Ches. Changed everything.
I'm looking at those highlights from Suits. I might see some. He hits like that again. He'll give me some flags. I like his physical play, but I think we play those again. We'll see some flags. Yeah. Anyway, I like what he brings. He is, like you said, he's a thumper. I looked at last week, and Sask was 4th in the CFL in yards per pass. They gave up a 100-yard pass on one, they were still 4th. So, look, the fact that they have the D-line they have,
there it is.
The pressure they're getting with that back end, I just really love the way Jason Shiver's mixing it up and the talent he has in that defense.
Yeah, I don't know if you realize it, Chaz, but on that back end for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, that defensive backfield's getting tall, much like the defending Grey Cup champions Toronto Argonauts were. And I don't think this is by coincidence. I think they just want to match up nicely with the big receivers we have in the league now. But I'm starting with the defensive line and Christmas, DeBerry and Johnson. Those guys are ballers.
Lanier.
That's I'm talking about interior.
Yes.
Then you get to Pete Roberson, and then you get to Lanier on the edge. And don't even talk about the linebackers, Larry Dean chomping at the bit to get after everybody. They're going to need that today because they're going to be tested against a really tough offensive line. We know Winnipeg and how they like to roll, and they usually do on football teams, and it starts in that interior.
If Saskatchewan wins this game, it's going to be because of their defense. Let's be honest. Winnipeg does a great job at controlling the line of scrimmage, especially on offense. They keep Zach clean and they open up holes for Oliveira. That defensive line has got to have to come up big. You think about Lanier, 285. You don't see defensive ends in the CFL at 285. He can play. That defensive line is a nightmare. Johnson, DeMarcus, it's looking to look a lot like Christmas. That's what I like to call it. But they're going to have to win the game if the Rough Riders will win this game.
And absolutely nothing against the Elks, but the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are a whole different animal. So you're right. This defense is going to be absolutely sensational tonight if they want the victory. Meanwhile, the party's rocking, but I'm getting a little bit hungry. Maybe we could order some food to set?
Uh-oh. I could eat.
We'll find out right after the break.
The heavy hitter. The original. The award winner. The non-conformist. The weekend warrior. There's an award-winning Ram truck just for you, with a full line of trucks for immediate delivery during month of Ram. Get 15% off MSRP on Ram Classic for up to $11,000 in discounts. Plus, get 4.99% financing.
At Canadian Tire, quality means putting products to the test. Because good enough isn't good enough. Because family recipes aren't the only things to pass down. Because safety has never been more important. Real Canadians test it so you can trust it. Thousands of products are tested. Only the best earn the badge. When it feels like all that's left is work hard, it's time to play again. Easily find your next favorite game with Bodog.net. Free casino games, poker tips, and sports odds. Make a play.
Wisely done, my friend. Wisely done.
It's like this. Cable internet is like an oatmeal cookie. When you don't have anything else, it's fine. But Bell Pure Fiber internet is like a chocolate chip cookie. Super fast gigabit speed so you can share, stream, game with no waiting around. Now, which would you rather have?
Bell Pure Fiber internet.
Smart cookie.
We're both smart cookies.
Yeah. Cheers.
Ding.
Well, look who's in the building. Milt Stiegel's losing it on this panel right now. LL Cool J warming up. Mama said knock you out. Milt, you got any other songs for me here? I was born in 1984.
Man, round away, girl. That's what you are. That's what you are, Kay.
LL's performing for 45 minutes before the game, and then, of course, we love the Lions home opener right after that. Trevor Harris warming up. If he wins today, it'll be his 50th win as a starter. Let's get back to Regina and join Britt Dortz, who's standing by with Trevor.
All right, Trevor, well, I feel like all of Rider Nation and everybody around is wondering, how are you feeling right now?
Great. I feel way better than I expected and ready to tee it up, and let's go get this thing going.
Well, your head coach this week told us that it didn't actually matter that you weren't at practice on Wednesday and that you maybe only got walked through because you're a veteran in this league and you know what it's like to take the team and be their #1 quarterback even if you don't get a full week of practice. What's that mean to you when you hear that?
Well, Coach knows that I don't subscribe to that. I like to get every rep and be out there for everything, and I was able to get out there for practice and stand behind the center, and but the best thing for this to be ready for right now was to rest it this entire week, and I probably pushed it a little bit too soon early this week, but it feels great right now, so let's get going.
Well, it's your first game as a Rider, first home game, I guess, here at Mosaic Stadium, and you get to play one of the biggest rivals for this team. What are the emotions going through your head right now?
Just be present. Just be right here, right now. Had a great meeting with my mental performance coach this week about, being physiologically ready, being mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and getting ready and make sure I'm primed, ready to go, and I'm ready to go. Let's go get it going.
All right, we'll have a good game.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to welcome in a couple of guests here. We got Josh Wood and Dom Rhymes and the BC Lions. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Now, you're holding something, I think, here for us. We're a little hungry on set. What do we got here?
The turkey leg for you.
So is this new in stadium?
Yes, coming real soon, I believe.
Okay, we don't have exact details. Well, let's try it. Are we ready? Jesse, are we going on to this one together?
Fresh off the grill. Fresh off the grill. I made it myself.
Oh, don't worry. I'll dry clean it. It's great. That's delicious.
That's my grandma recipe. That's my grandma recipe.
It's good. Down in Florida?
Good. Down in Florida. Nah, my grandma from Alabama. That's the Alabama.
You have some questions.
Okay, I'm going to ask one. I'm going to start the questions. Even with my notes, it's very rude, but I'm going to do it anyways. Thank you. Josh, first of all, just the fan base here. You got LL Cool J starting tomorrow. The team obviously performing on the field well. How does it feel as a player where the franchise currently is?
I mean, I just love the energy that they're bringing. I mean, you can feel it throughout the city. We feel it even all the way to Surrey where we practice at, and we feel that people are really behind us. So you play a little extra when you feel that love on you. So it's been awesome.
It's been awesome. Did you clean up here?
Any good food is going to be accompanied with a napkin. But I think, how do you feel about the first week? Obviously, you went off, felt good about your offense. How are you feeling? As expected, or how are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like offense is getting better. We're still learning. I felt like last week we could have been even better. We left a lot of yards, a lot of points. So this week we're gonna clean it up and just put on the show for the Lions fans.
Feel any extra pressure to produce with a couple of key receivers out of lineup this week?
Not at all. I feel if you've been watching us the last few years, every receiver has stepped up, been a key contributor. You see Alex, this year he's been doing great for us. So it's like the next man up and the next man up know the standard. And the standard is to be the best we could be and try to be the best receiver corps in the league.
Josh, you're a West Coast kid, right? West Coast, and you from the bottom, Miami. How has this atmosphere made you guys feel home away from home?
I mean, I think it all starts with the culture that we have just in the locker room and the organization. We really brothers, like we come along together and like it's like home, like in the field, out the field, wherever we are. So it's been good like that.
Is it true you're roommates?
We're City Boys! You down in Vancouver, you come holler at the City Boys.
You're not using this hair care product,
No, that's a different regime right here.
I'm about to say, Milt.
Gentlemen,
I used to have hair like that. I used to have hair like that.
All right. We got to get to another football game. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you for the turkey legs. We'll see you on the field tomorrow for their home opener against the Alice.
Welcome.
What a beautiful night for football.
I went back in time to save my mom. Hi, Mom. And I completely broke the universe. Want some help? Wait, he's Batman?
The Flash. How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Sausages and Hot Dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Benchmark believes a tool is something you should just click with. That's why everything bearing the Benchmark name is built to be durable, innovative, and powerful. And with its interchangeable Omega battery system, you have the power to move from one project to the next, effortlessly. So with a full range of hand, power, and lawn tools, you're practically unstoppable. Benchmark, built to build. Only at Home Hardware and Building Centers.
This is not a basketball net. This is not a drill. And this is not a stand mixer. It's how the Harpers turn downtime into together time. And this is not just any loyalty program. It's one made for them. With Triangle Rewards, you get personalized offers every week, so you can get more of what you love. Download the Triangle app today.
Well, getting set for the first of 3 games between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Saskatchewan Roughriders tonight. But as we know, some things are certainly bigger than sports. Our thoughts with the families of the 15 people who tragically lost their lives in Manitoba. And we take you now to Regina, the teams taking a moment of silence to remember those that we lost yesterday. And what are we doing out of this?
And your starting quarterback, number 7, Trevor Harris. Let's hear it for your 2023 Saskatchewan Roughriders. Our color party today is from the Royal Canadian Legion, celebrating 98 years of service to our country and represented by Regina branch number 001. Joining them today are Corporal Scott Currychuck, Amy Hunter, and Gavin Duffy from the RCMP. Holding the Trinity 4 flag today is Genova Pasqua from Pasqua First Nation. Over the past year, the Roughriders and Rider Nation have mourned the loss of members of our football family. Tonight, we celebrate their memory. We ask that you please rise if you are able and join your Roughriders in extending our respect and sympathies to the families and friends of our fallen teammates. It's with heavy hearts that we also acknowledge yesterday's devastating vehicle crash in western Manitoba that claimed the lives of 15 people and injured many more. Your Saskatchewan Roughriders stand with our neighbors in Manitoba and ask that you please join us in a moment of silence to show our respect for the victims and their families who were affected by this tragedy. Thank you. Please remain standing and remove your headwear as CFL fans wearing both green and blue unite in the singing of tonight's national anthem. All right, get ready to sing loud and proud.
It is one of the best rivalries in the CFL. The Bombers and the Riders, both teams looking to move to 2-0 on the season. We will get you to Mosaic and join Rod and Glenn right after this.
I can't believe all of what you're saying. They seem like
Kids should have kid problems, not hunger problems. Join Subway June 21st. Buy a footlong and help feed kids with Food Banks Canada.
Now that it's so easy to get my packing and shipping done here, maybe I should take it up a notch.
Come on, Granny, we need to take it up a notch.
You got it, baby.
Can packing and shipping be easy? Let's find out.
Oh, how did your doctor's appointment go, by the way? Did you ask about Rybelsus?
Actually, I'm seeing my doctor later today.
Did you say Rybelsus? I take that.
Really? Rybelsus?
Okay, order up 4 Rybelsus. I mean, Rachel, sorry. I couldn't help overhearing you. My dad's been talking about Rybelsus.
Rybelsus, really?
He says Rybelsus is a pill and...
Well, you don't say. I'm definitely gonna ask my doctor if Rybelsus is right for me.
Rybelsus. Ask your doctor or visit rybelsus.ca.
Avatar: The Way of Water is now streaming on Disney+. Relive the adventure of a lifetime and experience the Academy Award-winning phenomenon again and again.
I see you.
Avatar: The Way of Water, now streaming on Disney+.
Now you can trade in your old phone and get money towards a new iPhone.
Then we do the money dance.
Second 12-inch pizza is also exactly 12 inches wide.
So you're telling me it's precisely the same pizza?
But this order comes with rewards.
What theorem are you using?
What theorem are you using?
Pythagorean?
No, that's triangles.
If you own an RV, you could be making thousands of dollars every month by renting it out on RVZ.com. While your renters are making memories, you're making money. If you're not using it, RVZ is. Go to RVZ.com today.
My bad, man.
No. The bad's all mine.
Don't even think of blaming yourself. I have the Bel Air Direct app, and my Crash Assist detected the accident and is already offering assistance.
That sounds perfect.
The Bel Air Direct app. Smart insurance with perks.
These are the Camper Scouts, earning their Eco Badge. They're sharing this FedEx electric vehicle and Frank's sustainable camping store with their global Scout community. Good thing Frank uses FedEx to help him expand his reach and make Earth a priority.
Hey, Canada, we're celebrating turning weekdays into deal days at Montana's. Like our half-price wings on Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, and all-you-can-eat rib Wednesdays. So come on in for good times, good company, and even better barbecue. Montana's, the grill is calling.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a beautiful day on the prairie. It's the home opener for the 1-0 Saskatchewan Roughriders, and they're up against their biggest rival, the 1-0 Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who would have a bad memory of the last time they were here for a meaningful game. That was the Grey Cup last November, where they lost by just a point to the Argos. But Glenn, the big story here is at quarterback for Saskatchewan. Trevor Harris suffered the hip pointer near the end of the game against Edmonton Sunday and says he will play.
Yeah, will he or won't he has been the discussion all week long. The decision is in. The leader for Saskatchewan will go and start this game tonight. Great mutual respect between he and Zach Collaros, the starter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Zach does nothing but win as a Bomber, 34-5. Wrap your head around that for a second.
Yeah, that and that of his head coach, who's not far behind with what he's done since taking over the Bombers in 2014, Mike O'Shea. Craig Dickinson, his first 2 seasons, the Riders went to the West Final last year, falling apart late in the season, finishing with a record of 6-12. But a new look, a new quarterback, and there's Janarian Grant after Winnipeg won the toss, and they want the football first. Last time they met here, it was on Labor Day last September. It was just a 2-point win for Winnipeg. Brett Lother gets us underway. It's week 2, but chapter 1 between the Bombers and the Riders as Grant is hauled down just over the 35 for Zach Collaros. All that run of success in Bomber blue and gold, Glenn, and out to get started again.
You know, you take a look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against Saskatchewan, have done a real nice job over the last couple of years. even when they come into Mosaic, hostile territory, close to a sellout here in Mosaic Stadium, and they're 1-0 to start the season. Beat Hamilton last week.
And what a start it was. He ended up 21 of 31, 354 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks in that win last week over the Ticats. So here we go, Winnipeg, with Ford to the right, faking the handoff and throwing it to Nick Dembski, who had a great start to the season last week against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, I highlighted the 2 guards, Patrick Neufeld and Jeff Gray, for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and their offensive line because of the interior of the defensive line. Maybe a strength for Saskatchewan with Micah Johnson and DeMarcus Christmas. And Nick Dembski off to a great start. Had a great opening week for the Bombers offensively.
Did he ever? 6 catches, 113 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter. Picks up 4 there. 2nd and 6. Crowd picking up. Noisy day here at Mosaic with the Bomber offense on the field. On 2nd down, Collaros gets away from the pressure. On the move to the right, where he can throw so well, but the coverage is there. C.J. Rivas in on Dalton Schoen, last year's Rookie of the Year, and that one is broken up. A 3rd down and a 2-and-out for Winnipeg.
Zach Collaros is going to escape to his right here. Pretty good pressure. The pocket collapses quickly, so he has to get outside. Tries to throw against the flow. Jaden Dalkey there along with C.J. Rivas to make the play and get a quick 2-and-out from that Bomber offense.
Jaden Dalkey in the 2nd year of the starting safety for Saskatchewan. Had a big hit last week in Edmonton. And in to punt is Jamison Sheehan from Australia. And that is taken by Mario Alford. Always dangerous returner who gets it up to the 35. So we had wondered, would it be Mason Fine after the Harris injury? No. Trevor Harris coming on for his first start at home with his new team after going 20 of 33 for 179 last week.
A big win against the Edmonton Elks in the opening week of the season for Trevor Harris in Saskatchewan. Getting things started on a positive note, and it's been a week of rest for Harris as he was trying to give his tight back and hip time to try and recoup as close as he could get to 100% before kickoff.
From the left hash, taking the snap from the new center, Peter Godber, handing off to Frankie Hickson. And his first carry of the game picks up only a yard. Good up front, Malik Clemens, the weak side linebacker in there for Winnipeg.
Well, whenever you're playing against Winnipeg, you have to see who's matched up against Willie Jefferson, and that'll be Eric Lofton when Jefferson's playing off on that side of the formation. And the #1 targeted receiver for Saskatchewan against Edmonton was Sean Bain, former Calgary Stampeder.
Bain over wearing number 15 now in his first year with the green and white. On a 2nd and long, Harris, 4-man rush, gets it away for Jake Winicky. Another newcomer to Saskatchewan who hangs on to the football and picks up a Rider first down.
Yeah, Evan Holmes in good position here for the Bombers on defense, but a simultaneous catch goes to the offense, and Winicky just hangs on. I mean, they both look like they both caught that at the same time, but a simultaneous catch goes to the offense.
Earned that nickname Touchdown Jake in Montreal. Quieter season last year, signs as a free agent. Tevin Jones getting the start at wideout with the injury last week to Darrell Walker, went on the 6, and looks like close to another first down for Saskatchewan. Yes, indeed it is.
Great start to the season for Willie Jefferson. Couple sacks against Hamilton, forced fumble, and a couple of knockdowns. The leader down Main Street is Adam Bighill. 4 tackles for him in week 1, and then right behind him is Brandon Alexander, and they're interchangeable parts in this defense.
Jones out to the right, Samuel Emelis to the left. At the top of the screen and a 1st and 10. Harris and the Riders on the move. 2nd straight completion there to Tevin Jones, who is close to another first down. Impressive start for Trevor Harris and this Rider offense.
Yeah, no Darrell Walker, who started at that spot last week against Edmonton. So Tevin Jones steps in, makes that catch on the slant.
And picks up about 9.5, so a 2nd and short here at the Winnipeg 40. Harris is going to throw. Pump fake. Looking deep. Left side, and nearly intercepted by Desmond Lawrence. That one too far for Emelis, as Lawrence had a beat on it but just couldn't hang on to the ball, so we have a 3rd and short coming up.
Yeah, it looked like a double move out here from the outside to try and fool Desmond Lawrence at corner, and Emelis isn't going to get it done. He played a cushion type technique, so playing off the receiver, and had the best chance to get that. Just slipped through his hands on the over the shoulder catch.
Shea Patterson, the short yardage quarterback, is in, and he is met almost immediately at the line of scrimmage. Bombers think they've forced them to turn it over on downs. It will be a close call here for Patterson.
Boy, the way he was digging for that looked like he actually dropped the ball. Let's take a look from this angle. No, he just realized that first hit, he didn't have it. Kept working at it. It looks like they didn't get it.
They did not get it. Signaling first down Winnipeg. First turnover of the game. On downs for the Blue Bombers. Shea Patterson in. Didn't need much. Didn't get it. A scoreless tie here at Mosaic in Saskatchewan.
Mom, how's your save percentage?
Only the best deals get into our cart. And I loaded my offers for extra savings.
Earn bonus entries with products like Oreo cookies. Shop in store or online.
Avatar: The Way of Water is now streaming on Disney+. Relive the adventure of a lifetime and experience the Academy Award-winning phenomenon again and again.
I see you.
Avatar: The Way of Water, now streaming on Disney+.
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement, where an afternoon of bocce rolls right into an early bird special.
The Roughriders season has officially kicked off, and so has the Foundation 50/50 presented by ISC. Last year's home opener total jackpot reached nearly $250,000. Get your tickets now for a chance at the prize.
Let's get it going with the poutine, baby. Fresh cut fries, so fresh and tasty. Real cheese curd, spicy pulled pork. Pork. Put a saucy feast in your face, baby.
Give your taste buds something to sing about at New York Fries.
Rob Grossi of Winnipeg, Manitoba. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save on Foods' $1 million touchdown win. If a kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns, you could win $1 million. Good luck, Rob.
Adam Bighill, as he so often does, coming up big on a third down and short, Glenn.
Well, when you've registered 821 career tackles, been a 3-time Grey Cup champion, 3-time outstanding defensive player, you got some good timing.
So Collaros goes to work after the turnover on downs and the first catch for Dalton Schoen in this game. Last year's Rookie of the Year and leading receiver in the Canadian Football League.
Collaros going to take a hit here, but the timing is there, and so is the decision to throw it to that weak side post. The halfback had rolled away, leaving a one-on-one on the outside.
Getting it up to midfield. Crowd picking up again on the 1st and 10, Winnipeg. Handing off, and they got him in the backfield. C.J. Rivas comes in, and he tackles Brady Oliveira for a loss.
The strength of this team may just be in the interior of their defensive line, led by the veteran Micah Johnson. 10 years in the league for Micah. Larry Dean started with 4 defensive tackles. He's a leader at linebacker, and what a start for Jaden Dalkey. Won the job in training camp. Mike Edom retired. He was a starting safety last year. Dalkey, on the very first play, stepped into Eugene Lewis to set the tone.
So a loss of 3. Rivas tackling Oliveira. 2nd and 13, just inside Winnipeg territory for Collaros. Over the middle, complete. Nick Dembski has another catch, a much bigger one this time, as they pick up a big first down inside the Saskatchewan 40.
Just a tremendously accurate throw here, as you're going to see the seam route from Nick Dembski, and it just seems to me that Dembski just become that go-to guy for Collaros in the real key moments when he wants to grab some momentum. That's a big play to get him plus territory.
inside the 35, actually, down to that 33. Saskatchewan, the thing about that Winnipeg offense, they can strike quickly. We saw it last week against Hamilton. Reminded again, the play fake and the screen off to Dembski. And another catch for him as he gets it inside the 30. A second down coming up for the Bombers.
Originally drafted by Saskatchewan in the first round, ended up becoming a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, going back home. High school Oak Park Raiders. High school football team. What a start in week 113 receiving yards. Had a big 47-yarder. He's out of the gate.
We talked about it a couple of days ago with him. He still hears it from Rider fans, but he comes back.
Oh, yeah.
Had a few seasons in the green and white before switching allegiances. 2nd and 5. Deep look into the end zone for Dembski. Coverage there. Amari Henderson, Jaden Dalkey, but a flag comes out late. Ruling a PI by the looks of things on that intention for Dembski.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's on Dembski, because the way he reacted. Here's Dembski here, and let's just follow him on this deep route.
Offensive pass interference.
Yeah, it is.
Winnipeg, number 10. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
It's against Dembski for the push right there. I mean, I don't think it really had a bearing in the play that much, except for the fact that he did it. He knew he did it. He gave him a push. Amari Henderson, I guess they're saying he couldn't track it down.
So Sergio Castillo comes out. He was 4 for 4 last week in the field goal department against Hamilton in that game at home. And Sheehan putting it down right from the 36. Castillo for the first points in this game. It's up, it's through, and the Bombers are on the board. Courtesy that field goal, Castillo. Trevor Harris had a good start. That first possession, 3 for 4, but it stalled on a turnover on downs. And he seems just fine, thank you. Saskatchewan football. CFL on TSN.
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement, where an afternoon of bocce rolls right into an early bird special.
Nothing better than taking a me day.
Imagine if every day were a me day. The BMO Eclipse Visa Infinite card makes every day more rewarding with 5 times the points on the things you love, like grabbing coffee, going to restaurants.
Food delivery?
You bet. Even ride sharing. And you can spend your points like cash on the things you really want.
Like my own hot tub?
Whose hot tub is this?
When a bank makes every day more rewarding, that's the BMO effect. Windows like a mirrored reflection. I have to steer you in the right direction.
On every trip, you can depend on Esso to be the place between places, connecting you to what's next.
Introducing Gatorade Fit. Real hydration with no added sugar. Electrolytes from natural sources and antioxidant vitamins. Gatorade Fit. Real hydration.
Trevor Harris was victorious in his debut with the Riders last week, but not an easy day for him last Sunday. 20 of 33. He did throw a touchdown pass to another new Rider in Darrell Walker, but late in the game, Glenn, second last play of the game, he would get hurt in that, and I know there were questions on whether he should be running a play like that.
Yeah, he took a pretty hard hit. That was the last play. Now, Craig Dickinson said that the reason he ran that play is to kill the clock.
It's Jamal Morrow on the carry and first down. Willie Jefferson finished off the job there.
Basically 28 seconds left at that point. He wants to kill 20 of the seconds with the huddle and snapping it right at the last moment. And then you got about 8 seconds. Your quarterback rolls out. He throws it as high as he can, kills about 6 so that the opposition gets maybe 1 play.
You had an interesting discussion with him the other day on the Zoom call. He doubled down, though. He said you do that 100% of the time. He's convinced that's the way he would always do it.
And he said, you know, Trevor has to take a little bit of it because you got to throw it a little earlier. Don't take that hit.
It's second down now. Harris completes it. And yards after the catch, too, for Sean Bain, who started his CFL career with the Calgary Stampeders, coming over to the Riders as a free agent.
Well, the question is, with that injury, how is he going to be able to negotiate the pocket? Will Trevor Harris be able to avoid these hits? And, you know, it doesn't have to be a big one to just twist it the wrong way and cause a problem. So far, so good. He looks sharp. Seeing the field. Nice completion over the middle.
4 for 5, midfield. Completes another one there for about 4 yards, and that's going back to Bain as well. Trevor Harris, one of very few to have 4,000 yards at least passing in a season with 4 different teams. Did it last year with the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, and if he has another 4,000-yard season this year, he will pass on the all-time list Darian Durant, Tom Burgess, 2 former Saskatchewan Roughriders, and a Bomber in Burgess's case, and Sam Etcheverry on the all-time list, over 30,000 passing yards.
Some pretty big names. He's chasing down now, and a Burgess 37 still going strong, and that one is completed. And that was with Des Lawrence coming in on Jawan Breskison, who also started his career in Calgary and the last couple of years was with the Toronto Argonauts, but rarely played, and getting a fresh start in Saskatchewan.
Timing here is good because Desmond Lawrence had a chance to come downhill there, and I thought he was going to try and undercut that. He decided not to. He decided to play the receiver, make the safe play, and get the receiver down and limit the game rather than take a chance, miss the ball, and then Breskison turned in the corner.
I say rarely played because of injury. Only 11 games played with the Argos in 2 seasons. 3rd and inches. This time, no problem. Shea Patterson in on short yardage. Last time in that situation, they were stopped shy and turned it over on downs, but this drive continues.
Yeah, so Craig Dickinson made a real good point with us on the Zoom call, and he was directing it to me because I criticized the decision in the game against Edmonton. I still respectfully disagree. I may put Shea Patterson in the game and have him practice that scenario, or maybe even Mason Fine, the true backup.
Harris does look good, though, as he looks deep. It is caught inside the 10, down to the 5. Tevin Jones, Demario Houston was all over him, but a great catch by Jones to make it 1st and goal, Saskatchewan.
Well, yeah, and the throw, because the throw led it outside. Tevin Jones now has a chance. He stabs it with his right hand and tips it back to himself. You're right, the coverage was tight, but look at that little tip. And the key to that route, Rod, Jones gives himself some space on the sideline. He doesn't run himself out of bounds. He's got about 2 or 3 yards inside that white stripe.
And you're right, beautifully thrown ball by Trevor Harris to put Saskatchewan on the doorstep of Winnipeg, down at the 5. Late 1st quarter.
Got a one-on-one at the top.
Harris faking the handoff to Morrow. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. Samuel Emelis. The Riders get on the board, and they take the lead.
One thing that Trevor Harris sees on this touchdown pre-snap is Brandon Alexander right there, the safety up near the line of scrimmage. If the safety's up near the line, then he can't be back in the middle in that end zone. Emelis sees it. Trevor Harris sees it. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
Samuel Emelis, Canadian, his 2nd year, played his college ball at Louisiana Tech. And he's got Saskatchewan's 1st touchdown of this game, the point after by Brett Lawton. Impressive 7-play drive. Trevor Harris is 8 for 9 in this game for 116 yards and a touchdown, set up by that nice play by Jones, and Emelis has it. 7-3 Saskatchewan leads.
Mom, how's your save percentage?
Only the best deals get into our cart. And I loaded my offers for extra savings.
Earn bonus entries with products like Honey Nut Cheerios. Shop in store or online.
I went back in time to save my mom. Hi, Mom. And I completely broke the universe. Want some help? Wait, he's Batman? The Flash.
Hey, can you come pick me up?
Oh, sorry, I don't have my car.
No problem. I'll just text you the digital key to my Seltos.
Let's look at the drive, right?
Live life to its fullest in the new Kia Seltos. Kia, movement that inspires.
Sometimes the difference between a car ride and a road trip is a summer drink from McDonald's. Like the smooth taste of a small McCafe iced coffee or a refreshing Coca-Cola for $1 plus tax. Step up your summer today.
Ray Magliozzi here. eBay Motors has millions of parts. Hey, Dave?
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
They're small.
For parts that fit your vehicle, go to eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Good answer by the Riders. 7th play, 70-yard drive capped off by a 5-yard touchdown pass from Trevor Harris to Samuel Emelis.
There's Brandon Alexander. Go ahead and snap it. And I'm going to show you what Trevor Harris looks at. He sees the safety out of the middle. Stop it there. He's looking right at Alexander, so he knows he's got the middle wide open. Which receiver is going to be the guy that gets to the middle? Samuel Emelis on the post.
So Saskatchewan, in an earlier possession, turned it over on downs, and Winnipeg answered back with a drive for a field goal. That was the response. Rider offenses look good early on in this game as Lawther kicks it off. Now they're up 7-3, and Janarian Grant has it at his 20. Good coverage. A.J. Allen has him wrapped up just across the 30. So Zach Collaros coming back on. 4 for 6, 46 yards so far in this one. Back-to-back most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League. Sees his team down 4. Friday Night Football from Mosaic.
What if we stopped at carrier pigeons? What if we never advanced past Morse code? But somewhere along the way, someone always said it's time for something different. Until there was nothing left to change. Wait, what? 5G subscription phone plans? Who's responsible for this? Public Mobile. Different is calling.
Nick Fury, you're in no shape for this fight.
This is personal.
You're the most wanted man on the planet.
One last fight.
Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion, only on Disney+.
Start your day on the right foot with a McDonald's BLT McMuffin.
This was the last time the Bombers were at Mosaic last November, looking for a three-peat in the Grey Cup. However, Enoch Mwamba with the pick. A block by Nick Hallett to keep the Bombers in it, but then another block kick by Robbie Smith. And Toronto holds on for the upset. Difficult memory for Winnipeg coming back as we head down and say hello to Brittdorf.
Yeah, but I will say from a fan perspective, that game really dabbed off every part on the bingo card because we loved that game and a lot of excitement, but not so much for the Bombers. I talked to Nick Dembski about returning to Saskatchewan for the first time since that game. He said, okay, well, I was on the plane. I was fine. I was on the bus ride to the stadium. I was fine. And then I got to the stadium yesterday and I walked on the turf and I immediately remembered that feeling and I was filled with so much emotion. But he did say, I'm going to use that as motivation today in this game to come back and get a win here so I can have a happy memory once again. But I'll say for us, we enjoyed Grey Cup week here.
We did, Britt, and
yes, we did.
We won't speak for Bomber fans, you're right. But if you allow yourself to be objective here, that game was off the charts in the fourth quarter with all the momentum swings.
Yeah, the championship game in the Canadian Football League once again delivered. I mean, 2 block kicks at the very end of that game, the big interception by Canadian Enoch Mwamba. I mean, it was worth every penny. The championship game. I know the Bombers didn't get the result they wanted, and they were going after the three-peat, remember.
They were always so close to getting it, too. They're down in this one after an impressive try by the Riders. 7-3 Saskatchewan. 2nd and 5 now Collaros. He completes it for a first down. It's Nick Dembski again, who was mentioned at a very busy season opener at home against the Hamilton Tiger Cats last week.
Yeah, I think if you're playing defense or you're defensive coordinator in the Canadian Football League now, you've just got to pay more attention to Nick Dempsey. You got to roll the coverage to Dembski. He's got to be your number one, especially on second down. I mean, Dembski has been the guy that Zach Collaros has leaned on in key situations. The end of last year, this year for sure in the first game, and he's doing it again tonight.
The Bomber offense got a shot out of a cannon last week in the first quarter with 3 touchdowns. Collaros throwing. He had Drew Wolotarski. The coverage was good. Larry Dean was there. It falls incomplete. Deontay Williams, the boundary corner, also in the coverage of Wolotarski.
Boy, we talked to Larry Dean on Zooms this week, and the first question was the goal line stand against Edmonton. That defense real physical in that first week. Look at Larry Dean, though. He's also the athlete. I mean, he plays from tackle to tackle as well as any middle linebacker in the league, but he can run, too. Chases down a receiver and gets the knockdown.
2nd and 10. Bombers at the 48. Noise picks up. Deeper ball again into coverage, and a flag does come out. It was intended for Carlton Agadosi, and that corner, Deontay Williams, was there. Coverage was tight. A flag does come out.
There is no penalty flag on the play. It will be 3rd down.
Yeah, Micah Tights is going to drop and help here as he drops into the deep half of the field. I'm trying to see if there was why the flag was pulled in the first place. That was a pretty clean play down the sideline.
Close for Agadosi, who had 1 catch last week of 40 yards. And so, Jamison Sheehan from Bendigo, Australia, with the punt. As Alford lets it roll down to the 3, picks it up and gets the no yards, so you can tack on 15 more.
Scan the QR promo code on screen to pay $30 less on a Crave Total 6-month plan versus a monthly subscription to get access to the most talked about series and latest hit movies.
Rod Smith, Glenn Suter, Britt Dort at Mosaic Stadium in Regina for the home opener, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 2 1-0 teams, Mike O'Shea's Bombers. Victorious last week. Team down right now with the penalty on the no yards. It comes out to the 18-yard line of Saskatchewan for Trevor Harris to come back in. We wondered if Harris would play because of the hip pointer last Sunday, but he's looked very sharp so far. 8 for 9 in this game and a touchdown pass to Samuel Emelis. Jamal Morrow has the ball, and the safety Brandon Alexander coming in says, I don't think so. He tackles him for a loss.
They've been playing Brandon Alexander in this game down at the line of scrimmage. He's up to the right of your screen. You just got that arrow just inside it. But watch how he sneaks up, times up his blitz, and shoots right through that B gap. That's the gap between the tackle and the guard. And Alexander owns the B gap there. Start that play before it got started.
Pushes him back 5 yards. A 2nd and 15 at the Rider 13 now. Has time. Being pursued by Celestin Haba, who made his CFL debut last week. He's in there for the injured Jackson Jeffcoat. He had a big sack of Bo Levi Mitchell late in the game that helped Winnipeg wrap it up against the Ticats.
Yeah, I was just curious to see how Trevor Harris ran. This is the real first time in this game that he had to take off and run and just take a look at that hip. And is he favoring it? Didn't look like it, but tracked down by Haba.
And so they'll be punting. It's Adam Korsak, another Australian punter, with Kari Vedvik injured on the 1 game. Korsak, who punted last week for the Riders in Edmonton, standing near his goal line. And this, the last play of the first quarter. Janarian Grant at midfield. And he takes it on the fly, and he gets it down inside the Rider 40. So as the second quarter will begin, a good place to start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They scored first on a Castillo field goal, but back came Saskatchewan. And a good drive capped off by that, the MLS touchdown. 4-point game, Friday Night Football after 1.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Golftown. Celebrate Dad with a Golftown gift card this Father's Day. Available at one of our 47 locations or golftown.com.
You guys ready?
I'll pay for it.
We'll split it.
Split expenses with the RBC mobile app. Get the new iPad when you switch to RBC.
I can't believe all of what you're saying. They seem like
Kids should have kid problems, not hunger problems. Join Subway June 21st. Buy a footlong and help feed kids with Food Banks Canada.
Here, we never hold back. We don't need to make noise to be heard. Our hustle meets heart.
Here, nothing is given.
Us, we can weather anything. We are all for one. The wildest of the West, where nothing is out of reach.
And we can rise to any height.
It's not just your home team. It's home.
McGregor versus Chandler. 16 warriors battling for UFC glory. The new season of The Ultimate Fighter continues Tuesday on TSN.
Through one quarter, Friday Night Football in Saskatchewan. The Riders lead by 4. A look at those numbers, and I guess the headliner, Glenn, among the things that you noticed in that first quarter, Trevor Harris, over 100 yards passing so far, looks pretty good.
Yeah, 8 of 9 and looks very good. Doesn't look like the injury is bothering him too much. And for the Bombers, they've activated Brandon Alexander, got him close to the line of scrimmage. He's made a couple of plays defensively. Now the counter to that is to try to go to the middle like Saskatchewan did on the touchdown. However, they can also, the Bombers can roll Adam Bighill back to the safety spot, which they do all the time. So you got to be careful not to be fooled by that if you're Trevor Harris.
That punt by Adam Korsak from his end zone, taken in the air by Janarian Grant. A good return to get it down to the Saskatchewan 38. So Winnipeg with the defense resting. Sees Kolaris out there. Anticipating the snap from Chris Kolinkowski, his center. Quickly gets it over to Dembski. Gets it inside the 30-yard line and looks to be first down yardage there right away for Winnipeg.
You know, there's technique, and then sometimes you just got to sling it. And Zach Kolaris slings it here. He has to change his throwing motion, really just sidearm it around Micah Tights to make sure it doesn't get knocked down, and right between the 1 and the 0 for Dembski.
The first of 3 meetings this season between the Riders and the Bombers. Winnipeg swept last year, but on Labor Day it was a 2-point game, went right down to the wire. Always close here at Mosaic between these two. Oliveira on first down. He finds a hole. He drives through. He gets it inside the 20. And close to another Winnipeg first down.
Yeah, good opening week for Brady Oliveira as well against that Hamilton defense. That's a good front 7 in Hamilton as well. Good. Jagarrett Davis back at that group, but Oliveira over 100 yards rushing and a 5-yard average.
22 carries, 106 yards in that touchdown last week against the Ticats, and 3rd in the CFL last year. Had just over 1,001 rushing yards. Brady Oliveira, he got 9. It's a 2nd and 1 at the Rider 18. Drew Brown is in for short yardage as they do try to pull him back. It's Wesley Clark after he already got the first down.
I think it's fair to say that offenses in the first week were a little bit behind the defenses, but there was some good production from some of the players offensively. Brady Oliveira. We'll see Mizell in BC tomorrow. The panels beat us there.
They did.
That could be trouble.
They're waiting for us. Well, they're busy working here too, but we talked about the star power, the panel and LL Cool J. Jeremy Clark of the Riders, excuse me. Trying to pull back Oliveira. The first down now at the Saskatchewan 16. Into the hands of Rasheed Bailey and taken down by Williams. Deontay Williams, the corner for the Riders.
Yeah, I wondered if Zach Collaros would go after Deontay Williams, who's playing for Nick Marshall in that corner, and if Buck Pierce, the offensive coordinator, would try and see if they could test him. Often for young DBs, you're going to back up in that first half just because you're a little unsure of what you're going to see from the receiving core of the opposition, and see if Buck Pierce, he hasn't really targeted him yet. I mean, a couple of plays that way.
See here now on a 2nd and 7, Winnipeg deep in the Riders zone. Collaros with time into the end zone. Dalton Schoen. Touchdown Winnipeg. What a catch right off the turf. Wasn't sure for a moment if he did have it, but Schoen, last year's Rookie of the Year, with an outstanding play there to put the Bombers back in front.
Yeah, targeted 9 times in week 1, and he made 5 catches. This is his most spectacular of this campaign, but boy, he made a lot of them last year, over 1,400 yards, as you mentioned. And that one, that's a tough catch. You have to go down low as you're moving across the field between the legs and try and scoop that, get your hands underneath so it doesn't touch the turf. That's a big catch.
I think that reaction by Collaros says a lot for Schoen, too, because he didn't look all that surprised. He just pumped his fist and is used to great plays from his young receiver, Schoen, his 2nd year at Kansas State. What a year he had last year with 16 touchdowns, and he's got one there. And a nice low catch for Schoen. So Winnipeg started the 2nd quarter in good field position, and they took advantage. Schoen, touchdown Winnipeg. 10-7, Bombers lead.
I'm a guy that does a lot of things. That's why I love the Google Pixel Watch. It does a lot of things too, like connect to my Pixel and Pixel Buds.
Well, watch out.
Lets me track my fitness with Fitbit. Sushi for Simu? And get help from Google when I pay for stuff. Thank you. And the best part? Google Assistant right on my wrist. Now even my assistant has an assistant, so she can do even more. What? Is that my boba?
Okay, let's practice your grab and go. You've got 10 seconds to snag this bonus entry product. Go!
Earn bonus entries with products like Old Dutch potato chips. Shop in store or online.
The Roughriders season has officially kicked off, and so has the Foundation 50/50 presented by ISC. Last year's home opener total jackpot reached nearly $250,000. Get your tickets now for a chance at the prize.
You guys ready?
I'll pay for it.
We'll split it.
Split expenses with the RBC mobile app. Get the new iPad when you switch to RBC.
Back in Regina, and Winnipeg has retaken the lead thanks to that man Dalton showing some fine work to make that catch, capping a 5-play 38-yard drive.
As Zach Collaros had to throw it inside, he's got Amari Henderson outside, Jaden Dalkey in at the safety spot, so he had to throw it low and away. But let's just show you how tough that catch really was for Dalton Schoen, because, you know, we've seen the ones where a receiver has to dive for it, reach out in front of him. Those are tough and spectacular catches, but this one he had to stop his forward momentum.
They're playing like that 23 cents for holding boundary. It means they're sitting it down. It means they're like quick passes, right?
He had to stop his forward momentum and then reach down behind him almost, so that's why. But great reaction by the entire team.
It really was.
Business as usual for 83. I mean, you guys can make a big thing of it up there if you want. But
well, the saying goes, act like you've been there before. The Bombers certainly act like they've done that before. Alford on the return, and a good one out close to midfield, up near the Rider 50. But those two, boy, they combined a lot last year in Schoen's rookie season. Here's the first time this season.
Let's take another look. Watch his forward momentum. He's got to put the brakes on. Now he's got to go down low. He's got his knee to deal with, so he's got to reach out in front of that. And he knows that Jaden Dalkey from the left of your screen is coming downhill. So the ball is low and away. Collaros protecting his receiver, but a real tough catch made look routine. for 83.
And you're right. You see those amazing, spectacular one-handed grabs and can't help but marvel at him. But that, in its own right, is just so impressive to watch. 1st and 10. Harris back on. Into the hands of Tevin Jones, who had a solid first quarter. A couple of big catches. He's taken down, though, for a loss. Brandon Alexander, you talked about the safety coming in again.
Yeah, you know, in week 1, it didn't look like he was playing in the same type of game plan. Now they're playing a different team, and that's why. But Alexander comes down, and he's been activated to get more involved, and they're rotating Adam Bighill back at times. 3 or 4 big plays now for 37.
Alexander taking down Jones for a loss of maybe a foot. We'll call it 2nd and 11, even less than that. But 2nd and long for Harris. Stepping up, gets away from the pressure and takes off. We wondered about his running, too. He doesn't run often. A flag comes out, too. There was late contact with his helmet as he went down. And a first down for Saskatchewan, and could more be coming via penalty.
Yeah, Malik Clements is chasing him from behind. And, you know, it's tough for Clements to see exactly when Trevor Harris is going to slide here because he's behind him. But that really doesn't matter. I mean, the rule is the rule that if a quarterback slides, you can't hit him. You can't even touch him, let alone swing the arm around at the helmet. He ducks the first one, and then here comes the hit. Well, the timing was so close
there
on that.
There is no flag for hitting in the head of the passer. It was a clean hit. First down.
So, you know, the timing was so close on that, and like I said, Clements can't see because he's behind, so you can't see the indicator that the quarterback's going to hook slide. And it's incumbent upon the quarterback to slide early so that you declare so you don't get hit. And the helmet didn't come into it because Trevor Harris had slid, so he fell into the hit.
And to your point, command center saying the slide was so late that Clements was already engaged.
Exactly.
In the contact. So no flag, but we do have a flag coming out here now after the first down run by Trevor Harris.
Yeah, and you know, in real time they made the correction. You see, he hasn't declared early enough, and Clements already in his tackling motion. Now we'll see what this one is.
Procedure, Saskatchewan, number 64. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
They got the left guard, Evan Johnson, on that for 5 yards. The veteran in his 6th season, 3rd with the Riders, played at the University of Saskatchewan. Started, was drafted by the Ottawa Red Blacks. Further to Harris running the ball, his 2nd carry. He had 1 for 19 yards in Edmonton before the hip. Yeah, big one too late in the game.
Yeah.
But we wondered, would he choose to run here with the hip pointer? He seems okay. Throwing that time on the 1st and 15, and it is complete. That's Samuel Emelis, who has the touchdown for the Riders in this game.
Yeah, I think by now the adrenaline's kicked in, and Trevor Harris is not even feeling it. I mean, he's not showing any ill effects from the injury a week ago. Really didn't practice with the first team all week long.
Picks up 13 and a 2nd and 2, and they got that right side. The ball carrier is Jamal Morrow. It's the home opener. And if ever you're going to see fans come out in droves, it's right here at Mosaic to cheer on the Roughriders at 1-0 coming in, and another first down.
Haven't seen a lot of Jamal Morrow in this game yet. Or Frankie Hickson. Not a lot of the run game. They've gone to a little play action early.
1st and 10. Oh, it's knocked out, and he gets it back. Harris was feeling the heat there right about the 40-yard line. The pressure coming in. And Celestin Haba, as mentioned before, had a big sack against Hamilton last week, and starting in place of Jackson Jeffcoat.
Yeah, Haba's going to come up the field and then slide underneath here, and when he does that, he's got just that natural gift and understanding and just a pure natural pass rusher off the edge. And we asked Coach O'Shea about Jackson Jeffcoat. He said he's going to be okay and back soon.
Harris is under pressure again. He's taken down by the big tackle Jake Thomas. So that Winnipeg front rising up, and this drive now and pushing Saskatchewan way back. to the 43 of Winnipeg now.
The veteran, Jake Thomas, stepping up in a one-on-one with Evan Johnson, who got that penalty early on. Just real active hands there from Jake Thomas to never let Evan Johnson get comfortable in his pass pro.
One of the elder statesmen to his 11th season with the Bombers out of Acadia. So push back further is Brett Lawther to try a 51-yarder, and it is wide right, and here comes Janarian Grant. Always dangerous, especially on a missed field goal, and a long try as he takes it out. Another good return by Grant to get it up to the 38. So Lawther pushed back, misses the field goal try, all made possible because of this play by Jake Thomas pushing them back. Check out the celly for the big man.
Power through your to-do list. And create a space that makes a splash. Special Father's Day pricing on now. Save up to $100 with STIHL tools starting at $179.99. Shop local. Buy STIHL. Find yours today at stihl.ca.
Dad, have you seen the boat keys? Nope. Should be there somewhere. I could stay out here forever.
I just asked.
I asked.
Yeah, I asked.
We just asked.
Is Ozempic right for you? Just ask your doctor or visit Ozempic.ca.
Credit the Rider defense in a big way in Edmonton last Sunday. This is late fourth quarter. Edmonton had 3 tries from the one, and they couldn't punch it in. Ended up losing by 4.
Just goal line stand when you have to give a yard. It just you don't see it very often. Just a real physical game by both defenses, really. But that was where the game was won for Saskatchewan. 3 shots at the goal line. Jason Shivers, the defensive coordinator, had him playing physical in week 1. Dalkey set the tone early. Milligan had a huge game with an interception and 5 defensive tackles.
That defense on the field now. It's a 3-point Winnipeg lead. They have the ball, and Dalton Schoen nearly had the ball there. Milligan is right back with him. Schoen scoring a touchdown earlier in the game. That one incomplete, 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, they'll put Dalkey. Excuse me. They'll put Dalton Schoen in the slot back spot, and then shoot him down the numbers as if he lined up as a wide receiver. Just get him inside in a one-on-one with lots of room on both sides of that go route. But Milligan, step for step.
Roland Milligan in his 3rd year out of Toledo. Had a pick last week. Flag coming out. Collaros gets it away. It is complete at midfield to Rasheed Bailey.
That is in the holding vicinity.
Holding Winnipeg number 53. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Little stunt up front here. Micah Johnson here, Pete Robertson there, and watch number 53, Patrick Neufeld, who gets caught a little bit late coming off that twist. Little twist up front by the front 4. Pete Robertson in the middle. Neufeld gets around his shoulder pads.
From Saskatchewan, played for the Huskies. Started his career with the Riders, and after a couple of years, got traded in 2013 to Winnipeg. He's been there ever since. 2nd and 20 now. Collaros Kolaros with time. Off to the left. Finds an open man. Dalton Schoen again. And that's up near the 50 of Winnipeg.
Great blocking and protection up front in that offensive line for the Bombers on this play. I mean, Zach Kolaros has tons of time up front. The 5 guys, basically 5-man pressure, so it's 5-on-5, clean pocket to allow Dalton Schoen to get way up the field and then come back right at the marker.
And he rolls out to the right and he completes another. Right at about the 10-yard mark as Winnipeg leading it by 3, and that's Drew Wolodarski with the reception.
Riders defensively on that deep throw for the first down played real conservative on the edges. They didn't want Zach Kolaros to escape outside, so they were pushing the pocket but not getting into pass rush mode. Great blocking by that O-line, and that was a huge conversion on 2nd and long. Got them out of their own end, too.
Into Rider territory at the Saskatchewan 50, and another first down. Kolaros and the Bombers. A 10-7 lead. Late in the first half. Brady Oliveira. And once again, carefully and methodically finds some room inside that line and pushes it for a good 5 more yards for Winnipeg.
Always lots of movement in the Winnipeg offense. Buck Pierce doing such a nice job offensively as a coordinator. He'll shoot a receiver across. Sometimes it's Rasheed Bailey. Sometimes it's Nick Dembski. Just forces the defense to take an extra second to react to where the ball actually is. That time to Brady Oliveira. Good matchup right here between coordinators.
It really is. Gain of 6 Oliveira and a 2nd and 4. Complete again. Wolodarski. First down and more. Drew Wolodarski takes it down inside the Saskatchewan 20. Lots of things happening on that play.
And again, all the action going as you're looking at it to the right, and Zach Kolaros bails out the opposite way. Can throw on the run as well as any quarterback in the league. Doesn't get enough credit for that.
Saw it last week against Hamilton too. Rolling out to the right, looking into the end zone. Classic Kolaros. And on that one too, Wolodarski 3 catches, 57 yards last week. Big one there. And he nearly had another catch. Wolodarski just couldn't hang on to that one.
Full blitz, one-on-ones. Had his slant route against the rookie. He saw the pressure, knows he doesn't have them all blocked because C.J. Revis coming off the edge is unblocked.
It was close. Deontay Williams was the one there. And there's Revis. The Sam linebacker, a 2nd and 10. 4 minutes exactly until the half. Winnipeg looking to add to the 3-point lead. Micah Tights, he was coming. Kolaros runs away from the heat. He gets it inside the 10. And a 1st and goal coming up for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Micah Tights was coming so hard that he actually went past Kolaros and looked like he may have given up contain. First of all, you're going to get a block, a good one from Oliveira. He's trying to pick up Tights coming off the edge. So here comes Tights off the edge. He picks him and he pushes him wide. So there goes the contain, and now he sees that open lane up front, and Zach Kolaros takes off. Key first down.
Injured player in the field is Micah Johnson. Winnipeg is threatening down inside the Saskatchewan 10.
Since the dawn of game, a rivalry has divided men, and Team Smooth chooses Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. Effortless shaving in one efficient stroke with a lifetime warranty. Choose your game face.
If you don't stain your deck, it's like the previous owner is still hanging around. So today, let's stain with Canada's #1 trusted brand of exterior stain and make your deck yours. Bear, exclusively at the Home Depot.
Cheez-It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy, satisfaction.
Special K cereals have real strawberries, real almonds, and are made with whole grain. Real ingredients, real delicious.
Ultra.
Let's get it going with a poutine, baby. Fresh cut fries, so fresh and tasty. Real cheese curd, spicy pulled pork. Pork. Put a saucy feast in your face, baby.
Give your taste buds something to sing about at New York Fries. Special K cereals have real strawberries, real almonds, and are made with whole grain. Real ingredients, real delicious.
Cheez-It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy, satisfaction.
Live from Montreal, F1 continues Sunday as drivers take to the track for the Canadian Grand Prix. Catch the reigning world champion Max Verstappen in action, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific on TSN and CTV, and stream exclusive digital-only race feeds every race all season on TSN+. Micah Johnson, the injured rider, at a critical moment for Saskatchewan's defense late in the half. Charbel DeBeer, 99, is in at tackle. It is a first and goal after the Caleras run for Winnipeg. Brady Oliveira, right, back up the middle, works his way inside the 5. Some tough yardage in there, and a second and goal is coming up.
Let's go back to that play where Zach Caleras got it down to where they are right now with that run inside, because Lake Corte Moore, their #1 pick, he's got to run an inside slant with Micah Johnson doing that, and then you got Micah Tights off the edge. Watch Corte Moore get pushed outside and not into his lane. So he gets crammed up and pushed outside. He can't cut underneath. There's where the big lane was. That was the key play. Now we'll see if the Bombers can finish this drive.
This is the 3-minute warning.
The 3-minute warning is given, and a second and goal. Winnipeg leading 10-7 with a great chance to increase their lead by the half.
Slurpee delivery is here. And here. And also here. Oh, and it's here too. And here. Wherever here is. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. On Earth, obviously. Get Slurpee delivered wherever you are with 7 Now. Try the new Mountain Dew Supernova Slurpee, only at 7-Eleven.
To find the world's greatest treasure,
a dial that could change the course of history.
They'll need history's greatest hero.
The Professor, Jonesy.
Indeed. Dr. Jones. On June 30th, get back. Unlock the mystery of his biggest adventure ever.
Turn left! Turn left! I ain't no chance here. What are you doing?
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Tickets on sale now.
Sometimes the difference between a car ride and a road trip is a summer drink from McDonald's. Like the smooth taste of a small McCafe iced coffee or a refreshing Coca-Cola for $1 plus tax. Step up your summer today.
These are the Camper Scouts, earning their Eco Badge. They're sharing this FedEx electric vehicle and Frank's sustainable camping store with their global Scout community. Good thing Frank uses FedEx to help him expand his reach and make Earth a priority.
Coming up at the half, we're going to break down Trevor Harris's first half performance. And you know what, Rod and Glenn, you're not the only ones on the road this week. We brought our own DJ. We're here in BC, and we're going to tee up the Lions and the Elks.
We're looking forward to seeing you, Kate. You and the panel racking up the air miles. Gotta like that. Hunter down in Vancouver for this one and the one tomorrow with the Lions and the Elks. Second and goal. Caleras steps up, takes it in for the touchdown, Winnipeg. Second time in this drive that Caleras decided to take off. Both big plays. That one, another Bomber touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not sure who was in charge of contain on the outside for Saskatchewan, but this side of the field, there's no containment, and Zach Caleras notices it immediately. No containment. Well, it was Pete Robertson. He jumped inside, and when he did, Caleras just took advantage.
The two-time MOP walking off. He's thrown a touchdown pass in this game. He has scored one. It is pending the extra point from Sergio Castillo, which is through. It is now a 10-point lead on a 10-play, 72-yard drive late in this first half.
I hit him with the head Creighton.
One of the players of the drive were the offensive line, and this couple of key moments where Collaros had to throw from deep in the pocket there, had the time to do it. The offensive line opening it up there. They throw a designed roll for him. Breaks contain up the middle, breaks up the middle through that B gap, and then there's a touchdown where he breaks contain from P. Robinson and gets outside. I mean, looked like Robertson was cut block at the line of scrimmage, and when he jumped over him, he jumped inside. He's still making people miss.
Remarkable story. You've heard it so many times of what Zach Collaros has done since coming to Winnipeg. When it looked like that 2019 season was a write-off for him, it started in Saskatchewan. He got hurt on the third play of the Riders season in Hamilton in 2019. And as I say, it went from a lost year to a Grey Cup victory with Winnipeg, and everything since is really one for the books.
34-5.
Remarkable.
Including playoffs. I mean, only 5 times in all of that time since back in 19. 5 times he's lost. I mean, you think back to the early days with Bo in Calgary, Bo Levi Mitchell. He had that win-loss record that was very similar.
So Mario Alford has it. 2:43 on the clock, and the one thing that the Riders can still hang their hat on, even though they're down by 10, is they have been able to move the football. Trevor Harris has had, statistically anyway, a good first half just to show that he is okay. The hit pointer does not seem to be an issue, but now the green and white late in the half have some work to do.
They do, but there's time. I mean, at 2:43, you can run your offense, basically. Kelly Jeffrey, the offensive coordinator, has shown us some innovation, I think, for the Saskatchewan offense this year. Think back to that Darrell Walker touchdown last week.
Here we go. 1st and 10. Tevin Jones loses the ball and he falls on it. It was stripped out by Des Lawrence as he was tackling him high, and ripped it out, and nearly a costly miscue there for Jones and the Riders, but they still have it.
2nd and short. They'll try and call the plays in the line of scrimmage. Yeah, that ball came out. There it is.
Instead, a 2nd and 1. And handoff, and not much there. They only needed about a yard. That's Jamal Morrow, the ball carrier, who had a tremendous start to the 2022 season. One of the leading rushers in the Canadian Football League before he got hurt and replaced by Frankie Hickson.
Get the new set here.
Did get the first down. Ryder 44. Going to close the gap before the half. It's complete to Jones again. Near side. Across midfield. And finally, Alden Darby is in there with Evan Holm to take him down. A first down, Saskatchewan.
You know, Tevin Jones had a pretty good first half. And that was a question mark coming in for Saskatchewan and their fans when they didn't have Darrell Walker. I mean, they've got a few receivers out. Braden Lenius, he is on the 6th game. Schaefer Baker also on the 6th game, and Darrell Walker as well.
Here's Harris again. Looking for Winnipeg a bit too far inside the Winnipeg 30. Winnipeg has one catch earlier in the night, but that one incomplete. A 2nd down coming up.
You know, I watched it live. I thought he should have had that, but there's the guys that they're missing and the totals. Keon Schaefer Baker having such a big year last year, and Darrell Walker, that touchdown last week. Braden Lenius was injured in the preseason game against Winnipeg.
Those career numbers, Walker, of course, many of his great years with Edmonton. He had a 1,000-yard receiving season with Toronto too, but the rookie of the year with Edmonton back in 2015. But missing him, so yes, missing some key receivers. Harris, and that's back to Sean Bain, and nowhere really to go after the catch. Once again, Haba is in there, the defensive end. Darby as well on that play.
I'll go back to that Jake Winnipeg. That was a deep corner throw that would have put Saskatchewan into field goal range, and it really looked like he should have had it. I mean, this is a catch that he makes and has made a ton of, so I just wanted to take another look at really what happened here. Was there he won the route just a little bit too far.
So in a 3rd and 9, the Riders will have to punt it away. Adam Korsak inside the Saskatchewan 50. Janarian Grant at his 10. there as he gets it up across the 20. Halftime is looming, 1:42 on the clock. The well-traveled panel. And remember, they got to go back to studio for the final game of the week when the Argos face the Ticats. Kate, Milt, Maddie, Chesney too in Vancouver. Getting set to talk about this game.
So Kate and Maddie, went with Carry On because, they're the pros. I mean, they're traveling on. Maddie's on the road all the time anyway. So they went Carry On. I bet you.
I know where you're going with this.
I bet you Milt and Ches. I bet they had the full check bags, the big trunk going in there with all the wardrobe. I mean, those guys.
Well, Milt would say, he's got his reputation, his looks to, he needs a bunch of suits. Probably changes them up, And Ches, I've seen Ches in studio he brings a full suitcase to work just going into the studio. He's got everything. You're missing something. You go to the studio. You ask Ches. He's got a few extra pairs of shoes in there, probably an extra suit, shorts, and.
We don't see the shoes on TV.
Well, we see Chesney sometimes.
Yeah, I guess. It'll be fun at halftime. They're having a good time out in Vancouver.
Oh, they are. I think it's awesome. They're out there.
And good for Amar Dome and getting all that set up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, and just to hear Kate talking about it, the excitement already building for the Lions. Home opener after the big win in Calgary last week. They take on Edmonton tomorrow, and we're going to be there, and we're looking forward to that as well. But we got a game here. Winnipeg's leading it by 10 late in the half. And Collaros, once shown, they connected for a touchdown earlier, but that one's out of bounds.
And when you're playing the best team in the league and the best quarterback in the league, you have to be fundamentally sound. And what that means is if you got contain, you got to keep it. If you've got the B-gap lane, you got to take it and make sure you have it. And we've seen at times when the Rider defense gets real disciplined and they're almost playing cautiously, then Zach Collaros will sit back in the pocket and hit those intermediate to deep throws.
So late in this half, they do force Sheehan to punt. Alford cuts it back. A good return. They're in the Bombers zone. There's still a minute left. 1:04 on the clock. Plenty of time to get at least a few points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, I think you can still run your offense. You got probably 4 to 6 plays if you're efficient. Trevor Harris certainly is. Boy, by the way, these two quarterbacks, when we talked to them this week, both just great mutual respect for each other. And Kelly Jeffrey's going to now call the game in the hurry up.
From the Winnipeg 50.
Here they come.
Blitz coming. Flags out. Adam Bighill had Harris. Instead, he does get it away. Incomplete. Into the turf it goes. Harris almost taken into the turf with Adam Bighill coming hard. You could see that blitz coming.
Yeah, they loaded up the line of scrimmage. There was no show blitz there. It was all forward lean with everybody.
Offside. Saskatchewan, number 15. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
You see, they're loaded up at the line of scrimmage, and you can see the forward lean from all these defenders because they're not. Sometimes you'll go up to the line to show that you're blitzing and then drop out of there. Not that time.
So push back. You look at Richie Hall, longtime defensive coordinator for Winnipeg. First and 15 now at midfield. 59 seconds on the clock. There's a big completion. Saskatchewan, Sean Bain, and a first down for the Riders.
Now, one of those Dalton Schoen type catches. He had to go back, stop his momentum, catch it down low, but that's where Trevor Harris had to throw this because if he didn't, Bain was getting whacked. Took a bit of a hit anyway.
In Mather's range, trying to get closer. And that one in and out of the hands of Jawan Breskison.
Let's go back to that Sean Bain catch for a second, Rod, because again, this is exactly where this had to happen. I'm not sure who was coming inside out. Was it Alexander? No, it was Diedrich Nichols with the hit. Receivers really appreciate those throws from the quarterback when you're going into the middle to be able to protect yourself as a receiver.
Bain had been used a lot as a returner as well with the Stamps in 2022. Moving over to the Riders, a 2nd and 10. The play clock winds down, and Harris gets it away to the right, and it's complete. Good first half. Samuel Emelis has the touchdown for Saskatchewan, has another big first down as, well, forget the field goal, 41 seconds on the clock. They can think end zone.
Yeah, oh yeah, you've got 3 plays here if you're efficient, and you see this nice deep out here. He's a smooth route runner. Samuel Emelis had a little bit of an injury issue last year, but that couple of moves, dragged that right foot to sell it. Got separation.
Harris is 15 of 18 for 173 and a touchdown pass to Emelis. Big moment here. Harris to throw again. He can find a receiver. Looking to the end zone. Touchdown Saskatchewan. And look who has it again. Samuel Emelis. 2 TDs on the night. And Harris and the Riders late in the half are right back in it.
Play action, push up the middle. That flushes Harris to the left, and watch the catch. Emelis goes and gets this football. Wow, we're seeing some spectacular catches tonight.
What a game, Emelis. Easily the best game of his young career, as he's hauled in a couple from Trevor Harris, who 16 of 19 in this game, a couple of touchdowns.
First round pick back in 22, and he's showing us why.
We wondered about Harris's health. Would it be Mason Fine getting the start? Harris had that look about him. You could tell earlier on before it was official. There's no way he's missing this game.
Well, let's take a look at the drive, too. It starts by Mario Alford catching the punt on the fly and picking up good positive yards, and then over the middle to Bain. Nice throw to the sideline to Emelis, and watch this catch one more time when he comes back, sees his quarterback scramble, and in the scramble rules goes back out towards the sideline in the end zone, lays out to bring it in. Also notice that Trevor Harris coming on for that series. You could see that he knew how much time. I mean, this is a veteran quarterback. He walks on the field. He goes, guys, we've got a minute. If you got a minute in the CFL, you could score major from your own 5-yard line.
Well, like Colares, he's been around a while. 11th season, a lot of different teams, a lot of big games.
No.
There's a big play,
No.
Janarian Grant. But it's on the, let's see, with 26 seconds to go.
Yeah.
What a difference maker he, well, we saw it in the playoffs, especially last year in both the West Final and.
He knows, too. He's
does.
coming out saying, hey, we've got 26 seconds to go.
Yeah.
You need what, 20 yards for a field goal attempt here.
Remember in a close game in the Grey Cup, fourth quarter starts, just getting settled in for the start of the fourth quarter. Janarian Grant busts it. For the second straight week, he had a return for a touchdown in the biggest games of all. By the way, Sergio Castillo's career high is 57 yards for a field goal. And on the sweep, they put it back in the hands, a rare offensive play for Janarian Grant, and he makes the most of that to pick up a first down. They're in Saskatchewan zone. What a finish to this first half. These offenses are busy.
It'd be about a 57-yarder right now, maybe 58. Now they're in range.
Carlton Agadosi, 1 catch last week. It's been a small sample size for that receiver. Just 1 game last year when he got hurt after 6 catches for 70 yards and a couple of touchdowns last July against Calgary. 2nd and 4. Sask 41. Complete again. First down inside the 35 and definitely in field goal range. It's Rasheed Bailey with the catch, but a flag is down. And this is going against Winnipeg.
Illegal block. Hands to the face. Winnipeg number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That penalty may just take them out of field goal range with about what, a play to go. Hands to the face. Stanley Bryant.
Rare flag against the left tackle, Bryant, one of the greatest ever play in the Canadian Football League. Perennial All-Star. Top offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League the last couple of years, winning that award. 2nd and 14, Saskatchewan 51. 9 seconds on the clock. 3-point game. Off to Oliveira, who falls down quickly to stop the clock. 3 seconds to go. And a smart move, otherwise it would have expired, and a chance to run another play.
Well, smart move, but did he get enough? You know, like he had to get down or he might have lost it. Now, I was wondering why Saskatchewan touched him so early. Although if he's just down there on his own and have surrendered, the officials will blow their whistle, you know, about a 1 count after.
Castillo, as mentioned, has hit 57. This would be less than that, but Mike O'Shea has no such thoughts. Final play of the half. Early movement on the right. And will there be a deep shot at all as Colares just goes down?
You know why he didn't want to kick that long field goal attempt? Coach O'Shea knows Mario Alford, what he can do if you miss it.
You remember the Argos here last year?
Absolutely.
Last play in the long field goal try, and Alford took it all the way for a touchdown. Winnipeg still goes to the half with the lead, but we have a much closer game now after that touchdown drive by Saskatchewan. And the Riders' offense, you know, especially with the uncertainty at quarterback, is a real headliner so far in this game.
So is Samuel Emlis.
Absolutely.
Great first half for him. Outstanding catch on the touchdown. Micah Johnson was nicked. Like he finished that first half, and that he'll be back.
We saw some great catches in this game, including one by last year's Rookie of the Year, Dalton Schoen, for a touchdown. He's standing by with Britt Dort. Britt?
Well, the Riders had a little bit of momentum at the beginning of the game here, and then you guys came back and answered. So what's going to be key in the second half in order to maintain this lead?
You know, I think for us, it's all about what we do. It's about our execution. You know, we trust our coach has got a great game plan. There's plays we should have made out there that we didn't make, so we just got to execute at a high level.
Well, let's speak about the plays you did make, because you did get your first touchdown of the 2022 season. How did that feel for you?
Feels good to go out there and make plays for your team. You know, we got a lot of faith in everyone out there, and so to pull my weight and make that play for my team felt good.
Well, I know last year was your first year in the CFL, but you got a taste of the Grey Cup. It ended in a heartbreak. So what's it like for you to come back to this field knowing the last time you played here?
Yeah, you know, that's never easy. It's funny, though. I've played here more than anywhere else other than IG Field. So, you know, I feel comfortable here. It's a place we've been before. So, like I said, you know, we just got to execute and do what we do.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, back to Kate in BC.
And welcome back to Vancouver, British Columbia. We've got the Lions. Actually, we have a lot of the team right now preparing for the big game against the Elks tomorrow. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but first, let's take a look at the game at hand. Now, Maddie, after last week's win, Trevor Harrison, and I'm paraphrasing here, said it's the worst he's ever played in a win, which was interesting. He comes out, we didn't even know if he was playing, first of all. Comes out 16-19, 215, 2 TDs in this football game so far.
Yeah, Trevor Harrison, he ain't scared. You know, he wanted a crack at what Milt, you know, we all know that one of the best, if not the best team in the last 3 years in the Canadian Football League. He went out there, was on fire, and he showed us a lot. He's a tough cookie, right? He may not be the fastest guy in the football field, but he sees it quick and he started getting it out. And I tell you, it was a clinic early, and then Winnipeg kind of flexed their muscles. And then late, I thought that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers fell asleep offensively in the second to last possession, gave Saskatchewan field position, and that's when he saw the pedigree of Trevor Harris flex his muscles once again. He took it right down under some pressure. Richie Hall felt the momentum shift. They had great field position, and he sent the house. Trevor beat it a couple times, and then next thing you know, he's dropping a dime in the end zone to Emilus, and we got a football game, Milt.
It's truly inspiring when you see Trevor Harris, who went from possibly not playing to playing the way he's done in the first half, and it's been impressive, the throws he's made, but I'm more impressed about his toughness. You know, he's playing against a great offensive line and great defensive Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but he's not backing down. They're putting pressure on him. He's making runs. He's making it happen. You see right here, he extended his drive, resulting in a scoring possibility. So this is what you want to see out of the leader, about the highest paid player on your team. This inspires the entire team, and you see this team is playing well. As you mentioned, Trevor Harris is not athletic. He's not fast, but he's going out there and trying to do any and everything he can to help his team win this game.
There may have been a drop in quarterback play across the league, or at least a talk of it. Not these two guys
Not
tonight.
these two guys.
They're elevated.
They're ball.
No, and as you were saying, too, when we were watching the game, just Zach Collaros doing Zach Collaros things.
Look, when you're playing defense and the quarterback knows exactly what you're playing and where to go with the ball before he snap it, I feel watching this offense, I feel like that's what they're doing. Like with Zach and Buck Pierce together, and they've been together so long now, when I watch teams line up, and I played nickel, meaning I blitzed twice out of my 13-year career. I was a blitzing guy. It was my rookie year in the CFL, and Anthony Calvillo used to laugh at me when I would try to disguise my blitz because he knew I was coming.
Right.
And my rookie year in the NFL, Doug Flutie did the same thing in practice. I would look like blitz, he would laugh at me. And I feel like, because they know it's coming, and I feel like when I look at defenses now with Zach and Buck on the headset, like they know exactly what's coming, and he's dicing defenses consistently.
Want to give a shout out to Emulus, who went to school where, Matt?
La Tech, baby.
Scoring his first 2 touchdowns as a professional athlete.
One to him.
Yes.
It's very impressive.
Yes.
You know what, a fantastic start to this football game. I don't know what we were expecting from this one, but both teams playing exceptionally well. As mentioned, we are clearly in Vancouver, British Columbia, getting ready for the Lions taking on the Elks. Coming up after the break, we're going to break down the game and maybe talk a little LL Cool J, who will be performing here tomorrow.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Golftown. Celebrate Dad with a Golftown gift card this Father's Day. Available at one of our 47 locations or golftown.com.
Nowhere is out there. Your journey starts in the next generation GMC Canyon AT4X. The most advanced off-road mid-size truck. Because the hardest places to get to are the only places worth going. Introducing the next generation GMC Canyon, the official vehicle of nowhere.
With Nutella, it's so good to savor all the beauty that surrounds us. Celebrate the wonders of Canada with 8 limited edition jars. Savor the beauty of Canada with Nutella.
This Father's Day weekend.
Oh, your son.
He's a good kid.
Yeah?
But he does these things that are so stupid.
Maybe get off the kid's butt.
I'm sorry, what?
What? I don't know.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, now playing.
How are lidocaine and benzyl alcohol alike? Both are found in new Salonpas pain-relieving solution. Both are clinically studied anesthetics, and both numb pain away with no mess or scent. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
It's Chicken and Rib Fest at Swiss Chalet. Our marinated barbecue back ribs are cooked low and slow to tender, fall off the bone perfection, and basted in your choice of sauce. Enjoy our famous quarter chicken dinner, now paired with our barbecue ribs. Only $19.99. Hurry in to Swiss Chalet.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Find battery tools in the 8K homeowner system starting at $269.99. Shop local. Buy Steel. Find yours today at steel.ca.
Ball, don't stop as TSN and TSN Plus deliver hoops all summer long. Top Canadian and international talent bring their game. The Canadian Elite Basketball League lives here on TSN and TSN Plus.
Lily Singh hosts Battle of the Generations. Starts Monday only on CTV.
It is the moment Milt Stegall has been waiting for. LL Cool J performing for 45 minutes pregame tomorrow. We've got the Elks, we've got the Lions. TSN 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And back alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stegall as we get set for the Lions home opener taking on the Edmonton Elks. It's been a party here in Vancouver all week long, but this is the end. This is the big game indeed. So let's start on one side. And Vernon Adams was great in the opener, to be quite honest. 272 TDs. On the flip side, the Elks, they're 3-0, and they got on the goal line stand, and it was just a devastating loss for them once again at home. But they want the win, and obviously BC wants this one too.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of pressure on the Elks, and I know they're looking at this game and the beginning of this season as something isolated, and they have to, and it makes sense. I get where they're coming from, but they can't help but to think of what's happened recently with this team. The confidence that VA is playing with is something that when I look at this BC team and the talent around him, if he's going to come in and play with that type of confidence and have the control of the offense like he does or did in week 1, this Lions team is going to be tough to beat, and they will take a real big performance from Taylor Cornelius. You talked about it. He said he wants to make simple plays this week. Well, I mean, BC, Vernon's not going to make simple plays. He can make big plays. So in order to match that, I think Taylor has got to have a special performance.
Yeah. Vernon was playing within himself last week in a win over Calgary and really didn't step outside of his cylinder and showcase his God-given ability, which is just to wreak havoc on any defense that's out in front of him with his legs and his strong arm. He maneuvered and did most of his damage in the pocket, and I was extremely impressed. And he can open up a little bit. If he does that, they're going to put even more pressure on a Chris Jones defense. And here at this BC place, if they ignite it and light it on fire, it's going to be a tough place to go out there and execute on a regular basis for a team that's desperately looking for a win. But I like what I see. We saw a lot of BC Lions out here. We saw Bolo Combo. We saw D-coordinated Ryan Phillips. Right. We saw Keon Hatcher, Lucky Whitehead. A lot of those guys on the IR, but there's a lot of players out here, and talking to a man, they're excited about their DC, their OC. They're excited. This football team, the town, what Omar Dolman's for Milt. I'm really excited for what's happening on the West Coast.
There's a lot going on, and it's a lot going on in Edmonton. And there's pressure on the head coach, and there's pressure on the quarterback. We know Chris Jones, if things aren't going well, he'll make some changes. And I'm not saying he's going to pull Taylor Cornelius, but Taylor knows he has to get it going. Chris Jones is not into losing. He knows he has to win or there are going to be changes made there. So Taylor has to get it going. There's no excuses. Great receiving core, great running back. It's on him. He didn't play well last week. He didn't play close to well last week. He'll tell you that. So he needs to go out and play a great game for this team to have an opportunity to win, because there's no competing and playing well. He needs to make sure his team wins the game.
Can I say something, Kate?
You may.
Can you keep your composure and keep your cool with LL? Because I need you to keep cool. Keep cool. Don't embarrass us, Bill.
I'm gonna try not to.
Day before practice is much different than football teams' day before practice. He was going out there. He was going hard, man.
Lower Bowl completely sold out, and this concert's going to be amazing. They're expecting approximately 35,000 fans. We can't wait, to say the least. And speaking of concerts, oh my goodness, Kim Mitchell just rocking out in Saskatchewan tonight. We got first half stats coming up right after this.
Today you're monitoring Amanda's first driving lesson. Your mission, make sure the Nissan Rogue passes the thrill test.
We have ignition! Go, go, go!
First attempt at parallel parking.
Thrilling moment imminent.
Round view monitor increasing confidence.
We have thrill! Yes, let's go!
Now at Nissan, lease a 2023 Rogue SV all-wheel drive from $99 weekly for only 24 months.
Claire stayed in this amazing hotel and paid this much for her room. Jess stayed in the same hotel and paid a lot less. How? Let's go back. While Claire found her hotel on her usual booking site, Jess found her deal on Trivago. Have a look-see, Claire. Trivago compares hotel offers from major booking sites so you can find the best deal for you. Hotel Trivago.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is simply spectacular. An awe-inspiring masterpiece.
Miles, don't get lost.
You've never seen anything like it in your life.
Trust me.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, now playing.
Summer sippers at BK, $2 iced coffees and lemonades. Small soft drinks, just $1. Wow, you should go to BK now. BK, have it your way.
Oh, did you ask your doctor about Rybelsus?
Actually, I'm seeing my doctor later today.
Did you say Rybelsus? I take Rybelsus.
Okay, order up 4 Rybelsus. I mean, Rachel.
Rybelsus. Ask your doctor if Rybelsus is right for you.
If you own an RV, you could be making thousands of dollars every month by renting it out on RVZ.com. While your renters are making memories, you're making money. If you're not using it, RVZ is. Go to RVZ.com today.
Special K cereals have real strawberries, real almonds, and are made with whole grain. Real ingredients, real delicious.
Cheez-It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy, satisfaction.
Whether you're at Raj's, or Hans, or Maria's, there's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, XL, Ultra, Molson. Everyone in.
All right, week number 2 in the CFL wraps up on Sunday with a rivalry between the Tiger Cats taking on the Toronto Argonauts. The Argos unveiling their Grey Cup banner at BMO Field. You can catch that Sunday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. But of course, we have a couple games to wrap up first before we get to that one, including the Bombers and the Riders. Winnipeg currently up by 3. We will get you back to Mosaic right after this with Glenn and Rod.
On June 23rd, get ready to laugh hard.
Okay, who told the joke?
Was that funny?
Play hard. And date hard.
I'll date his brains out. Smack it.
Jennifer Lawrence, no hard feelings.
On your birthday in New Orleans, strangers pin you with cash. Makes no sense, but neither does a Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich. No breading, all Cajun flavor. Happy birthday, Phil. See you tomorrow. We don't make sense, we make chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Here we are in Montreal. The Canadian Grand Prix returns.
On the banks of the St. Lawrence River, the legendary Circuit Gilles Villeneuve will vibrate to the frantic pace of the engines. For 70 laps, the drivers will try to avoid the many pitfalls of its spectacular layout, all with the same purpose.
To win the Canadian Grand Prix!
Download the TSN app and experience F1 like never before with the exclusive TSN augmented reality feature powered by Bell 5G. The Canadian Grand Prix on TSN and CTV.
This is MasterChef. Uniting tastes of America. You'll cook alongside everyone else from your home region.
The South plays dirty.
The West side is the best side. It looks a lot like a turd emoji.
That's smart cooking.
You're handsome.
Can you stop flirting with the judges?
MasterChef, United Tastes of America. New episode, Wednesday, only on CTV. Stream on all your favorite devices.
We have a close one at Mosaic, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders home opener trailing by 3 points against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That rivalry lives in a good one here so far for Zach Collaros, who's scored a touchdown. He's thrown a touchdown pass, and also Glenn Suter for Trevor Harris and the work he's done, especially connecting with Samuel Emelis.
Yeah, Emelis with a couple of touchdowns in that first half and over 200 yards passing for Trevor Harris.
Back and forth they've gone. Winnipeg at the 3-0 lead. Saskatchewan came back, scored a touchdown. The Bombers went on to pick up a couple of major scores to take a 10-point lead, and then that late touchdown to get it within 3 as Harris and Emelis hooked up again. So the second half will begin, and the Riders will get the ball first. The kickoff coming down to Mario Alford inside the Rider 20. Nowhere to run. Tanner Cadwallader. Solid special teams players of Winnipeg coming in to make that tackle. So here comes Trevor Harris in a strong game he's had so far.
Well, we weren't even sure if he was going to play. Craig Dickinson said it was going to be right down to the wire. Game time decision. He came out, took warm-up, looked good, and he has been on target, over 200 yards passing, on pace for 4, a couple of runs, and no ill effects from the sore hip / lower back injury suffered last week in Edmonton.
They worked well together. 4 catches for Emelis, a couple of touchdowns. So they start at their 30, down 3. Second half, the home opener Riders, and off to the right, another completion to Tevin Jones, who had a strong first half as well, and getting the start in place of the injured Darrell Walker.
You can tell that Tevin Jones knows this opportunity that's in front of him. I mean, he has been ready to play. He's been a #1 target. Him and Emelis in this offense in the first half, and they can taken full advantage of this opportunity with Darrell Walker on the shelf.
Along with Kean Schaefer-Baker. Few injured, and Braden Lennius too. They have some good injured receivers, but the receivers tonight are stepping up in a 2nd and 6. Looking to another now. Coverage is good, but the catch is made. It is Sean Bain, and a big first down to start this second half for Saskatchewan.
Trevor Harris has to pay the price, and the accuracy on this throw, when you take a look at the hit that he is going to take, it's going to be Adam Bighill right down the bottom of your screen that he's going to be spying. Oh, excuse me, that's not who makes the hit. It's Walker up front, but Bighill's spying. He holds the ball to the last second, and then over the shoulder to Bain. Such a great, accurate throw after getting hit the way he did.
Ricky Walker coming in, and pretty solid contact there on Trevor Harris. Does complete the pass. Standing at the Winnipeg 35. They scrimmage from the 30 and a 1st and 10. Quickly away again to Jake Winneke. Second catch of the ball game for Winneke, coming over after some solid years with the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, I think Trevor Harris right now is still feeling the effects of that last hit. Ricky Walker planted one on #7 and shake that off. Mason Fine. No, he's good. He's good.
Mason Fine wasn't sure if he'd be starting this game. Standing by, it's a 2nd and 3. Quickly again and off to the right, and it's Emelis again who pushes his way after the catch for another first down for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, watch the quick read here by Emelis and by Trevor Harris when he sees the coverage and he sees what Winnipeg is doing defensively. Look at the depth that you have from the defensive back up high, and that's where Emelis says, okay, if he's going to play off me that far, then we'll just go quick game. A little quick foot in the ground, come back, pick up good yardage. Second down.
Good job to make Lawrence miss there, and a 1st and 10. The 20. Complete again. Jamal Morrow goes up, brings it down in a crowd down near the Winnipeg goal line. A 1st and goal coming up, although there is a flag out.
We'll see what that flag. Willie Jefferson's in the middle of it, but Jamal Morrow's going to come out of the backfield and become a receiver. See 25 just right out of the backfield, gets in behind.
Illegal participation, Winnipeg, number 5, playing without a helmet. The penalty's declined. It was a completed pass on the 1-yard line. First down, Saskatchewan.
Well, I thought DeMario Houston was going to lower the boom on Morrow there, and he went down. Let's see, Willie Jefferson down at the bottom. If your helmet comes off, you got to stop. You got to get out of the play.
5 straight passes. Harris hit again by Jefferson without the helmet, hence the penalty. They were already down close anyway for a 1st and goal. And a flag coming out again before the snap of the ball.
Now I think Bomber fans are saying, well, how did the helmet come off? Wouldn't that be hands to the face penalty? Take another look at it.
Too many players in the huddle. Saskatchewan. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
And it was a high hit. Brandon Council up on the face mask. That one missed. But how about Willie Jefferson just saying, the helmet is good, but, and I'll wear it every play because I have to, because it's a rule. But I don't need it.
He wanted to make sure he's, even without a helmet, got in on Trevor Harris there.
Still put a hit on him.
So too many in the huddle, forcing the Riders 5-back. Still 1st and goal now from the Winnipeg 6. With a chance to take the lead again. Touchdown again, Samuel Emilus. Wow. Again.
Hat-trick time.
His 3rd touchdown. What a home debut in 2023 for that combination of Trevor Harris and Samuel Emilus. And the Riders are indeed in front.
Yeah, they have been on the same page here tonight. Different types of plays, different types of coverage in all 3 touchdowns. But you always have your breakout game when you're a young player, a couple years in. Talked about the injuries from last year for Emilus, but I think you'll look back at this game and say, this is the one I arrived, no matter how it ends up. Big game for number 19.
He had a solid opening game last week in Edmonton with 3 catches for 51 yards for a receiver that hadn't been targeted as much when all the others are healthy. Well, 3 catches. He's got that and then some. He's got 3 for touchdowns. And this is early in the second half. Trevor Harris works him down the field. Some quick passes, including that one. Number 19 is having himself a game.
That invasion is here, Rhodey. And we can't even tell who the invaders are.
This is a ticking time bomb.
And it was you who lit the match.
You're the most wanted man on the planet.
Well, Mama always said I was special.
Nick Fury in Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion, streaming June 21st, only on Disney+.
Nowhere is out there. Your journey starts in the next generation GMC Canyon AT4X. The most advanced off-road mid-size truck. Because the hardest places to get to are the only places worth going. Introducing the next generation GMC Canyon, the official vehicle of nowhere.
You guys ready?
I'll pay for it.
We'll split it.
Split expenses with the RBC mobile app. Get the new iPad when you switch to RBC.
Let's get it going with a poutine, baby. Fresh cut fries, so fresh and tasty. Real cheese, curd, spicy, pulled pork. Pork. Put a saucy feast in your face, baby.
Give your taste buds something to sing about at New York Fries.
What a night for Montreal's Samuel Emilus in his 2nd year at Louisiana Tech. His 3rd touchdown has given the Riders the lead.
Yeah, hat-trick in touchdown department. He's had 6 catches. That was a great scramble rule move to get back outside when Trevor Harris was moving out of the pocket. Then the quick slant on the timing. Samuel Emilus has been targeted 7 times tonight. Has caught 6 of them for 67 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You won't forget this night. Of course, it'd be a little easier to remember, too, if they could hang on for the victory. But you're talking about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Oh, yeah.
3 times West Division champions. And nearly 3-time Grey Cup champions as well. The last 3 seasons, Janarian Grant taken down by Nelson Lacombo. So this is not something the Bombers are in a situation like this very often, but down right now in the second half.
Yeah, I mentioned in the first half that we talked to both quarterbacks, and they have great mutual respect for each other. And you would think they start talking about touchdown throws and, you know, their stats and their number of yards passing in their career and stuff. They don't talk about any of that. When they're talking about the opposition's quarterback, and in case of these 2 guys who were teammates back in Toronto, you know, they talk about preparation.
So here's Collaros going to work again and just escapes the rush from C.J. Rivas coming in on the blitz, and that's completed to Dalton Schoen.
You know, they talk about preparation, you know, finding new ways to analyze their throwing motion, watching tons and tons of game video.
And how about that? He had a rushing touchdown in the first half, his first one since August 21st, 2015, when he was the quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
That's why we saw him dancing on the sideline when he got it. It's been a while, I guess, for him right in there.
21-17, Saskatchewan leading Winnipeg. That's complete to Schoen across midfield. Dalton Schoen still going. He's had a night as well. Touchdown catch and gets it inside the 40, so you had a feeling, given the reputation of that Bomber offense, we're going to be charging back here.
Watch the work of this offensive line. I want to show you a block up front. I believe it was Patrick Neufeld. Inside move. No, it was actually Hardrick, Jamarcus Hardrick. He just puts Pete Robertson on the ground.
Gain of 31 yards. Collaros to Schoen as he escapes the rush, completes another one. Rolling to his right and gets it to Carlton Agadosi in his second year with Winnipeg, missing most of last year after getting hurt following his debut.
Big blocks up front again. I mean, watch this work. Now it's only 3-man pressure for the Riders. They're going to drop back in coverage, but just lots of time for Collaros to go through the reads, look at every single receiver down the field, and then spin out of there and find one.
The center, Chris Kolinkowski, saw him put down Micah Johnson, allowing Collaros to escape. Down inside the Saskatchewan 30. Winnipeg's offense looking to answer right back with the blitz on. Wolotarski has it. That quick hitter from Collaros, and he gets it inside the Rider 20.
And Dalton Schoen talked about it at halftime with Brett, just saying that, you know, we just got to take care of our stuff. You know, so they just saw Trevor Harris go down the field. Now they just get their offense out there and they run their offense, and it looks just as efficient as Trevor Harris just did.
Back and forth they go. The Riders, the Bombers, Winnipeg with it in a 1st and 10 at the Saskatchewan 18. Wolotarski out to the left in the wide side, faking the handoff. Oh, and it's complete to Schoen, a little bit behind with a defender right there for Saskatchewan, Rivas, and he completes another one.
How about the throwing motion and how Zach Collaros will adjust the angle of his arm to based on what he's got in front of him. He's got Rivas right in front of him, and he's jumping, so Collaros throws it around. He drops his shoulder and his elbow, and he throws it right around the rushing defender.
5 straight passes complete by Collaros. 2nd and 4 to Saskatchewan 12. And look at the 10. It's complete. Agadosi. He's got it. They had to get a little bit more for a 1st down. We have a 3rd and short coming up now. The Bombers trailing Saskatchewan by 4.
Very interesting here. What does Michael O'Shea is he's considering this, isn't he? They're 2 yards short of the marker. And he's saying go for it.
And a consideration, too, is how well the Rider offense has been moving down the field.
This is
an interesting choice.
Interesting choice to not take the points here. We're still in the 3rd quarter, but He believes in his offense, especially the guys up front.
3rd and 2. Winnipeg's going for it. Deep in the Riders zone with the blitz coming. A look into the end zone. No. And Agadosi wants a flag, and a flag does come out in the Rider end zone. Working on Jeremy Clark, Carlton Agadosi, as it'll move closer to the goal line.
Defensive pass interference, Saskatchewan number 37. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down, Winnipeg.
We get to these replays just a little bit behind it, and because the contact had to happen before the ball arrived. I saw it clean when the ball arrived, but there was some contact before. We just didn't get a real good look at it.
So here we go. The gamble pays off. It's a 1st and goal at the Rider 1. The Bombers try to move ahead again. Short yardage in, and a touchdown is scored. It's Drew Brown with it, breaking the plane of the goal line, and Winnipeg, after falling behind, has quickly gone down the field to take the lead again.
How about these quarterbacks dueling?
You're not kidding. Former teammates 10 years ago.
Yeah, that last yard, by the way, is the hardest. Just ask Edmonton. But that Bomber O-line, they got the push, and Brown was in by a yard.
Riders had made a huge goal line stand. 3 tries by the Elks last week, but that time not able to make the goal line stand against Drew Brown and the Bombers. And we have an extra point coming up here for Winnipeg, trying to move ahead by 3 again. What a back and forth entertaining game we've had here at Mosaic in the home opener for the Roughriders. Castillo puts it through. 3-point game. Colares and Brown talk things over. Big guys get in. Patrick Neufeld slamming it home as Winnipeg is back in front.
Subway series.
15 chef-crafted subs. Just order by number, I'll do the rest.
So I can just say 11?
If you want a green goddess.
8.
Steak and bacon.
14.
Little Italy.
4.
Cake and chicken.
Give me a 12. Mama's hungry.
Cheese It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy, satisfaction.
Special K cereals have real strawberries, real almonds, and are made with whole grain. Real ingredients, real delicious.
Critics are calling Elemental the next Pixar masterpiece.
Holy dewdrop!
When Element City is in danger,
This is our home. We have to fix this.
unlikely friends will become unexpected heroes. Disney and Pixar's Elemental.
Globe Ultra.
Now you can trade in your old phone and get money towards a new iPhone.
Then we do the money dance.
Let's take a look, because I know both Rider fans, Jeremy Clark, are wondering about whether or not this was pass interference, and it certainly was, because Clark's down at the bottom of your screen in press coverage on Agadosi on this fade route. He's going out and wide, and you can see the holding going on right there. He holds the left arm, hangs onto it way too long. That's the pass interference call. It's a good call by the official, puts him on the 1-yard line, and Drew Brown took it from there.
Jeremy Clark looks up. In this back and forth game, Colares and the Bombers. You know, you talked about them being teammates 10 years ago. In 2012 and 2013, I'm trying to think of that Argo quarterback room, what that was like when you got those two guys as backups too.
Ricky Ray.
So on the kickoff, Mario Alford on the return. Another good one, still on his feet up near the 50, and a late flag does come out. And the fans in green and white getting a chance to see their team in person for the first time. And it's Riders trailing, but not by much. It's 3-point difference.
This Father's Day weekend.
Oh, your son.
He's a good kid.
Yeah?
But he does these things that are so stupid.
Maybe get off the kids, but...
I'm sorry, what?
What? I don't know.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, now playing.
When it all just lines up perfectly. Everything fits. And there's more space for your tastes. Living feels seamless in the LG Zone. Get there with LG CounterDepth Max refrigerators.
Special K cereals have real strawberries, real almonds, and are made with whole grain. Real ingredients, real delicious.
Cheez-It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy, satisfaction.
You don't.
And now we present the Coors Light moment of chill. We're actually looking at something before the game for a player that ends up doing something in a game. This is Trevor Harris answering all the doubters later about the injury, but little toss, just relaxed, and he seems just fine. What story this week about the possibility of not playing?
Yeah, chilling with the fans in warm-up a little bit early on in the warm-up process, and then he got dialed in and throwing touchdowns. He's looked great tonight.
22 of 25, so 88%. He's clicking on, and 3 touchdown passes, all to Samuel Emelis.
Both quarterbacks have looked great.
They have. I was going to say, I keep coming back to that. When you had Ricky Ray, and then you had little-known Zach Collaros, and even lesser-known Trevor Harris back in that Argo team. Mike O'Shea, by the way, a special teams coordinator on that team when they won the Cup back in 2012, and they're around again a year later. And look at them now, veterans in the league, and they are going toe-to-toe. These 2 quarterbacks in this game. With 45 points on the board, and Winnipeg leading by 3. Saskatchewan past the midway point of the third quarter. Looking for Jones, and they talk about Harris. Nearly a pick for Evan Holm with great coverage on Jones there. It'll be second down.
Yeah, Evan Holmes, Holmes just basically made up this space because they had something there, the Riders, with Jones down the sideline, but 31 catches up in a real hurry. Evan Holmes almost like he was baiting him to throw that, and then it forced Tevin Jones into becoming defensive back and try and rip it out of there, and he gets it done before Holmes goes down.
Evan Holmes in his second year out of North Dakota. Starting at field half. 2nd and 10. 6:12 in the clock in the third quarter. Some heat is coming, and it's off the fingertips of Jamal Morrow. So this time it's a 2-and-out for the Riders, as Corsack will come on to punt it away. Just the second 2-and-out for this Saskatchewan offense in this game.
Not a bad returner back there. They should have good field position for Zach Collaros.
Corsack, little end over end punt. Gets a nice roll too. Chasing Grant inside the 20. He breaks out to the left. They keep coming. Morgan Hughes can't get him. He is breaking free. Janarian Grant still on his feet. Still in bounds. Inside the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Winnipeg.
Illegal block. Winnipeg, number 10. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the 30-yard line. First down, Winnipeg.
Explosive as it was, a flag had come out, and an illegal block penalty against Nick Dembski negates another spectacular return by Janarian Grant.
That's just outstanding effort by Janarian Grant. We'll try and find the penalty and take a look at it, but you know, it looked like 3 or 4 times the Riders would get contained on him and turn him back up into the pursuit. But I'll tell you what, that was some kind of return. Whether it stands or not, it doesn't look like it will.
And one of many, but this one not to be, negated by the penalty. Bomber ball and a 3-point lead.
If you just set out to build an electric car, that's all it will ever be, an electric car. But the Polestar 2 is something more. Every detail designed to be quietly distinctive. Polestar 2, the way electric cars should be. Visit Polestar.com to test drive and order today.
Invasion is here.
And we can't even tell who the invaders are.
The world is on the line. TikTok.
Mama always said I was special.
Nick Fury in Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion, only on Disney+.
Let's get it going with a poutine, baby. Fresh cut fries, so fresh and tasty. Real cheese curd, spicy pulled pork. Pork. Put a saucy feast in your face, baby.
Give your taste buds something to sing about at New York Fries.
It is Winnipeg football. They're still sorting a few things out. They had said number 10, which would have been Nick Dembski with the illegal block. Waiting for clarification on that, but bottom line is a punt return touchdown by Janarian Grant has been taken off the board. There's Dave Foxcroft.
Winnipeg is challenging the previous play for an illegal block. We'll review the play.
So Mike O'Shea puts out the challenge flag. Let's see what they saw.
Well, I don't think Nick Dembski was on.
No. Unless they announced number 10.
Could that have been it? I mean, when we went back and Maruo number 00 here.
There's Maruo 00, as you point out, with a block from behind.
I'm not sure about that one either. That looked like it was shoulder to shoulder, and then Grant bouncing to the outside. I mean, he was already well past that shoulder to shoulder hit. Yeah,
you see Maruo 00 on Justin Herdman Reed 58. And they initially announced 10. I'm wondering if they meant 00. Regardless, as you say,
what an effort.
It was such an effort by him to stay in bounds as well. It looked like he was heading out, but just to break it back to the left and find an opening when it looked like the Riders had him bottled up. How many times have we seen that? Last year alone, some of the spectacular touchdown returns that Janarian Grant had. Mike O'Shea challenges. Here's the result.
After review, the command center reviewed all possible blocks against Winnipeg and ruled that they were legal. The ruling is overturned. The result of the play, touchdown.
Something you don't see often on a play like that is a challenge and an overturn on a return touchdown. It stands. It was a touchdown, Janarian Grant.
Well, nothing there. I went back and looked at it and decided there just wasn't. I think the closest one was Maruo on Herdman Reed. That looked like it was almost shoulder to shoulder there, and it was well behind the play as well. Although we've seen that been called many times.
What a game breaker is Janarian Grant, who does get credit for that touchdown and an extra point away from having a 10-point lead for the second time in this game. Sergio Castillo. You know, I talked to Mike O'Shea, a special teams coordinator himself, about is the return game better now than it's ever been? And he wasn't willing to say that. Some of the teammates he's had in Chad Owens and Pinball Clemens, Bashar Livingston, and other greats around the league. Remember Henry Gizmo Williams. But it is, he did agree. This is, I mean, there are a lot of special returners, including the one he has.
Well, look at this. I mean, first of all, Janarian Grant goes up the field. Now he's got to cut inside of that contain and then still have the speed and the stiff arm here on Bruno LaBelle. I mean, outstanding effort from Janarian Grant. And it was, in a lot of ways, I mean, he got a couple of blocks, but in a lot of ways, it was on his own. Look at this one. Stiff arm. It's a big tight end. LaBelle is 250 pounds. Strong upper body with number 80, and I think he's got a little bit of speed, too.
He sure does. And remember last year, his teammates taking care of him. Remember last year, he took care of them, too, in the West Final against BC in the Grey Cup to start the fourth quarter against the Argos. 8 kick returns. Janarian Grant with touchdowns. And this one's opened this one up again, as the Riders have some work to do, down a couple of scores in a 31-21 game. Still lots of time, 5:16 to go in the third quarter.
Well, lots happened since Trevor Harris took it all the way down the field and scored. But you're right, it's unique. It's one of the first times I think I have heard the command center say that they have looked at all the blocks on a play and didn't see a foul. Basically looked at 11 guys and said, nope, it's all clean.
Jamal Morrow, short gain, right side, pushing there. So it'll be a second and long coming up. Under 5 minutes to go in the third. Number change this year for Rick Walker, down to number 9. By the way, my apologies to Jarius Jackson, who was in that quarterback room of the Argos in 2012.
Oh, right. He
was the backup to Ray. Imagine this, Caleros and Harris were 3-4 on the QB depth that year in 2012. Here's Harris. Favorite target of the night. Samuel Emelis with 3 touchdowns, and on that catch, gets it up near midfield.
Going to get the headgear back on straight. So that hit from Adam Bighill in there, 3 receiving touchdowns tonight. That ties a Riders single game record. Can he get a 4th?
They need him to. Need somebody to get back closer again, and not something you doubt at this point, the way they've connected. And that was for a first down. Up across Rider 53, blitz coming, gets it away in the middle, completes it to Jake Winnipeg. So across midfield and close to another Saskatchewan first down.
Tried to roll Alden Darby back to the middle, and when they did that and brought Brandon Alexander up, Winnipeg realizes that they're making that rotation. He's got a soft spot.
He finds it and Harris finds him. It's a 2nd and 1 on that. Gain by Winnipeg. Quickly again for Jones. And with DeMario Houston bearing down right near the line of scrimmage, it falls incomplete. And Harris is saying, my bad on that one. It's a 3rd and short, but a foot or 2.
Yeah, we've seen both these quarterbacks protect their receivers very well tonight with throws, nice and tight and low, and where they can cradle it into the stomach and absorb the hits coming. But Trevor Harris knew immediately he hung him out to dry a little bit there.
Shea Patterson's in for short yardage. The Riders 1 for 2 in that department. Turned it over on downs the first try. Got it the next one. He goes right side, and he didn't need much. And it looks like he will have enough for another Saskatchewan first down. See where they spot the football. He thinks he's got it. Sure looks like it. Patterson, he was in the USFL last year with the Alouettes, backing up Trevor Harris in 2021 in Montreal.
Tough going right in the middle, so Patterson taking the bit longer approach, but getting to a soft spot on the right side of that O-line. And Ferland.
To the Winnipeg 46. Riders on the move. Harris steps up, looks deep, right side, off the hands of Jake Winnipeg. A little bit high coming in. Incomplete.
A couple corner routes right this game for Jake Winnipeg that they've just missed on. I mean, Trevor Harris has been real close. That one in the first half that was just outstretched hands at Winnipeg. This one just a little bit high and behind him. Had to avoid the rush and step up, though, and maybe just that bit of a rush off the edge was what affected the accuracy.
They were teammates the last couple of years with the Alouettes. Now together with the Riders and a 2nd and 10 Harris. Shorter crossing route, the catch, the run, the first down, Jerron Breskison, who is slow to get up. Breskison, his biggest play for the Riders.
You know, sometimes
coming over this year.
Sometimes fans, Rod, will say, if you got 2nd and 10, why do you throw a 3-yard pass on a crossing route? This is why. Because depending on the coverage, sometimes you get like this man look with a defender in chase. You get that leverage, you get it to him, he can make the first down on his own.
Harris 321 yards passing. Looking off to his left, and you think number 5 Winnipeg has batted down a few balls at the line of scrimmage in his career?
Yeah, he has.
A tough guy to throw over, Willie Jefferson.
Yes, he has. 2 knockdowns in the first game of the season against Hamilton, and he just gets one. It's been a quiet night in a lot of ways for Willie Jefferson, the way that we've seen him sometimes dominate a game. So you've got to give some credit to the tackles for Saskatchewan Roughriders, but still a lot of game to be played, and you know Jefferson's going to make a play here or there.
58th knockdown in his great CFL career.
It really is.
A former Rider, Willie Jefferson, Defensive Player of the Year with Winnipeg in 2019. Coming hard again on the left. Harris buys himself some time and down inside the 5. And pointing, looking for a call, too. That one incomplete late here in the 3rd quarter. Intended for Tevin Jones.
I don't see any signals from any of the Saskatchewan players to signal to their head coach, Craig Dickinson. It looked like Trevor Harris was saying he thought that his receiver, Jones, was on that crossing route and was interfered with, but he ran into his own guy, Sean Bain.
Brett Lawther from the 30 to make it a 1-score game again. They were down 10. Now they're down 7. And about a half a minute to go until 3-quarter time. Remains close in this early season rivalry game between the Bombers and Riders.
Here's another look at that route, Rod. He's coming inside, and you see they just collided. He just had to get around the linebackers. That deepened the route a little bit too much. He runs into Bain, and Trevor Harris, from his angle, it looked like he was held and didn't come across the field smoothly. So that's why the receivers didn't signal to Craig Dickinson to challenge that.
They're still moving the ball well. That time picking up their first field goal of the game. Both teams 1-0 coming in. Saskatchewan winning their opener Sunday, and Edmonton, Winnipeg at home last Friday against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Both started well last year, too. At one point, the Riders were 4-1 last year. Winnipeg started 9-0 before losing to Trevor Harris and the Montreal Alouettes in overtime. Went on to a 15-win season. There's Big Charbel DeBeer in on the play as we were getting near the end of the 3rd. A loss of 1, a 2nd and 11 coming up.
Buck Pierce has gone to a lot of different looks on 2nd and long. One of them is to get Zach Collaros outside and on the edge, taking advantage of a soft edge to get outside.
Good crowd tonight at Mosaic. Raising the decibels now for that Winnipeg offense on a 2nd and 11 to finish the 3rd quarter. It is complete. Dalton Schoen took a hit too from Nelson Lacombo, and he hung on Another big night for Schoen, and that one gets across midfield where the Bombers will start the fourth quarter with the ball and in Saskatchewan's territory with the lead. Riders moved down for a field goal just minutes ago, but it's still one touchdown difference from that man, Janarian Grant.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Golftown. Celebrate Dad with a Golftown gift card this Father's Day. Available at one of our 47 locations or golftown.com.
How did Canadians get so sweet? Well, Harvey's can't take all the credit, but we're just going to leave a tasty hand-spun milkshake and some hot, crispy cinnamon sugar donuts right here. Harvey's.
Subaru's latest eyesight technology detects a wider range of potential road hazards, helping to keep you safe all the way home. The new Subaru Ascent with 3 rows and seats for up to 8.
Here, we never hold back. We don't need to make noise to be heard. Our hustle meets heart.
Here, nothing is given.
Us, we can weather anything. We are all for one. The wildest to the west, where nothing is out of reach.
And we can rise to any height.
It's not just your home team. It's home.
Ball, don't stop as TSN and TSN Plus deliver hoops all summer long. Top Canadian and international talent bring their game. The Canadian Elite Basketball League lives here on TSN and TSN Plus.
Lily Singh hosts Battle of the Generations. Starts Monday only on CTV.
A 7-point lead heading to the fourth quarter for the visiting Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 31-24. Plenty of offense, plenty of passing yards, too, as you can see from these two quarterbacks, Zach Collaros and Trevor Harris.
In week 1, the defenses were a little bit ahead across the league. In week 2, it hasn't taken long for the offenses to catch up. We're closing in on 600 yards passing between these two quarterbacks. They're putting on a show. You know, there's been the odd defensive play, no question about it, but how about Samuel Emelis with 3 touchdowns for the Riders?
That's a big part of the story, and right now, so too, Dalton Schoen, too, with that brilliant catch he had in the first half.
Well, this is a second play that Zach Collaros, in a second and real long, has had that time in the pocket to sit back there and just step up and have a throwing lane to get it to his targets. Those are big second down conversions when you're second and plus yards, more than 10.
Lots of offense, but the difference right now is a special teams play. Janarian Grant, that return touchdown. Here's Collaros going to work, and oh, you don't see that often. Sliding down, Schoen in and out of his hands that time. 2nd and 10 coming up, Winnipeg.
Well, this is the question now. I mean, Jason Shivers is the defensive coordinator for Saskatchewan, and does he try to send blitz here to maybe rush a throw from Zach Collaros, because when they let him sit in the pocket, he's completing those 14, 15 to 20-yard intermediate routes and converting these second and long. Now, if you blitz, you're in one-on-one with Dalton Schoen and Rasheed Bailey. And
so what's Jason Shivers do here on a 2nd and 10? Just barely beating the play clock.
3-man pressure.
Collaros, and it's intended for Dembski, wants a flag, and he got one too. 3 riders back there. Lacombo reaching up, but this penalty is going against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, there's the answer. Shivers decides to just send 3 and then drop everybody else in coverage and see if Zach Collaros can find a hole. And this Dembski on the left of your screen is going to be the target. And let's see if what happens down the field. The ball is thrown to him, so any contact turns into pass interference, pushing the back from Lacombo before the ball arrives.
Contact right there on Nick Dembski.
There's no question.
Defensive pass interference. Saskatchewan number 21. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down, Winnipeg.
Well, I don't think there's any question on the contact. Now, I mean, Shivers probably making the argument that that ball was tipped by Deontay Williams and was no longer catchable. but that hit in the back was pretty clear.
So, point of the foul down to the Rider 21. First and 10 Winnipeg, handing off Grady Oliveira. Runs out 3 more yards. Second down coming up. Another look at that penalty and Nelson Lacombo.
Well, stop it right there, guys. Yeah, you see the ball hasn't arrived yet. Now, the official cannot make the judgment as to whether or not that ball was going to continue through. The contact was made before the ball was tipped.
Gain of 4, Oliveira. Second and 6 coming up Winnipeg. Early fourth quarter. Saskatchewan 17. Pressure coming. Collaros gets it away, and he gets it to Drew Wolodarski inside the 10. It's a first down. It'll be a first and goal for Winnipeg.
Wolodarski stumbled on his route here. I mean, he's running this deep curl. He's going to get down near the goal line, come back, and he stumbles a little bit, but recovers. I mean, he's going out and around, and then he kind of chops his feet, stumbles a little bit, and then finds that spot for Zach Collaros to hit him.
First and goal. 7-point lead. Riders desperately trying to hold them to a field goal. Oliveira down to the 5, backs up. He finds a way, like the star running back before him in Winnipeg, Andrew Harris. Just when it looks like they can't get any more yards, they pick up 1, 2, 3 more, working it down a bit closer.
So now what do you do, coach? Second down on the 2-yard line. Do you go back to 20? I mean, there's that second effort you talked about. He got 2 or 3 more by just not surrendering.
Here's one of the matchups. Buck Pierce, Jason Shivers. This Winnipeg offense has a second and goal at the Rider 2, looking to go up 2 touchdowns. Drew Brown is in. Short yardage. Pushing near the plane. No signal. They say no. Down shy of the goal line. And a third down is coming up. Third and goal, Winnipeg.
Yeah, as soon as they empty the backfield, you know what the play is. Basically, you're going quarterback sneak, and they'll line up and do it one more time on third down. First half, Michael O'Shea gambled on third down from about the 4-yard line.
The Rider defense had a big goal line stand last week. They need another. Right now, Brown pushing. And a flag does come out. As he breaks through for the Winnipeg touchdown, we'll see the result of the flag.
Offside, Saskatchewan. That penalty's declined. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Brown, as he pushes it across, and the Bombers now have a 2-touchdown lead, their biggest lead of the night.
I thought you were on the first one. Good shit. See that, boy?
Sergio Castillo for another point after try. Put it wide left, so the miss by Castillo, and it is still a 37-24 lead, a 13-point advantage for Winnipeg. Kolinkowski and the big boys up front helping out. Another Bomber touchdown.
Okay, family, huddle up. As you know, touchdown to win is on, with $1 million prize up for grabs.
Honey,
it's Coach.
Okay.
Dad, this shopping list is a mess. Let's organize it by bonus entry items and hot deals, okay?
Oh, I can help with that. I've got the Save on Foods app to find sales in the flyer and load my offers.
Okay, Let's get out there.
Save on, Savers.
Hey, that's my line. Shop in store or online.
Tylenol Rapid Release Gel Caps are scientifically designed to quickly release medicine and effectively relieve pain. Tylenol Rapid Release, Rapid Relief.
I lost both of my parents within a few months. I took care of everyone, making sure that everyone was okay, but I forgot myself. I needed professional help to learn how to manage it and get back on track. It's a process, but things are getting better and better.
I can't believe all of what you're saying. They seem like
Kids should have kid problems, not hunger problems. Join Subway June 21st. Buy a footlong and help feed kids with Food Banks Canada.
Back at Mosaic in Regina and Winnipeg, looking things over after another touchdown scored by Drew Brown in short yardage after a 9-play 70-yard drive, and a little comfort for Winnipeg on a night that's been back and forth. But Saskatchewan now down by 13. Now the missed extra point and a big kick there.
There's the extra point.
There is the extra point. They make it up that way. Sergio Castillo after missing the point after, and then that kick taken down for that single, and 38-24 it is. 14 points. Claris and company in front right now. Still lots of time, but lots of work for Saskatchewan to do now. And teams inside the 20 in the score zone have been perfect, by the way, in this game. Winnipeg 4 for 4, Saskatchewan 3 for 3. The ball comes out to the 40. And that's single point. Trevor Harris and the Riders. Plenty of time. Finds his receiver. It is Tevin Jones again. And a good gain up about 9 yards. It'll be a second and short coming up for Saskatchewan.
Well, that play looked like they were making it up. It looked like it was supposed to be a hitch play. Quick throw from Harris. But Tevin Jones, he wasn't ready to throw it when he did. He thought he'd pump fake. He wanted to go deep. He didn't. He just slid into the middle.
They were in a situation like this before. They take a free play here and worry about the short yardage later. That's what they're doing. Deep for Jones. He got turned around, but he has the ball working on Demario Houston. So that time it works out. And here come the Riders.
So here's what happens, Rod. They run that first play where they were going to go the hitch and go, and he didn't know it. Jones didn't know it, and so he just kind of found a spot. And then Trevor Harris went in the huddle the very next play, and he goes, "Hey, we're going to do it again. Let's try it again. Hitch and go." And this time it's executed.
Different situations on second and short in the first half. They didn't get that one, and then they didn't convert. They turned it over on downs. Quickly with the blitz coming, gets it away to Winicky. Takes that down, and a pickup of another 4 or 5 yards for Saskatchewan. Inside the 30. Call it a pickup of 6, and Riders are in tempo now. Up to the line quickly. Approaching the halfway point of this fourth quarter. Harris handing off. Moore has a hole right side. First down and more. Saskatchewan. As Jamal Morrow takes it down near the Bomber 10.
Their first game of the season against Edmonton, Jamal Morrow was crucial in the final drive for Saskatchewan to seal the deal. Kelly Jeffrey, the offensive coordinator, went to his running back late in that game, and boy, was he productive. Almost had 100 yards on the night just from that late fourth quarter action all by itself.
First and 10 now. And that one incomplete intended for Jones. I go back to that stat inside the score zone, inside the 20-yard line. These teams have been perfect. Touchdowns every time. Saskatchewan 3 for 3 and looking to tie Winnipeg at 4 for 4, and they need to. Winnipeg 11. A second down and 10. Gets it away. Nearly intercepted by Alden Darby. Oh my goodness. Could have snuffed out that drive right there. Darby had a shot at it, stepping right in front. Instead, a third down is coming up.
Jumps it. I mean, Willie Jefferson's going to get to Trevor Harris as he throws this one. Harris didn't have a chance to pull it down and find the next guy. He's trying to throw that on time, and Alden Darby, the veteran, knew it. I mean, he just jumps that shallow post.
The Riders are going to take some points and have something to show for this drive as they do, as Lothar puts it through. So a 14-point game goes down to an 11-point game. Still 2 scores. But still plenty of time halfway through the fourth.
BK Mosa here, and you know there's 3. Classic bacon and spicy. Flame grilled patty on a toasted bun with the caramelized onions. Now I want one. BK, have it your way.
On June 23rd, get ready to laugh hard.
Okay, who told the joke?
Was that funny?
Play hard. And date hard.
I'll date his brains out. Smack it.
Jennifer Lawrence, no hard feelings.
I just asked.
Yeah, I asked. We just asked.
Is Ozempic right for you? Just ask your doctor.
Batteries provide clean energy that lights up our lives, keeps us moving, and can even reduce impact on the environment. But not if the chemicals inside them end up here. Safely collect, protect, and drop off your used batteries every 3 months. Learn more at recycleyourbatteries.ca.
Now you can trade in your old phone and get money towards a new iPhone.
Then we do the money dance.
Father's Day just a couple of days away, and it means so much to so many in the CFL, including these 2 players. Let's go back to Britt Dorff.
Yeah, when I had a conversation with Nick Dembski yesterday, he told me he was so excited because at the end of the month, his first baby's going to be born, a little baby girl. He was even wearing a pink shirt yesterday with Donald Duck on it. He said that's a nod to her. And we also have an exciting time for Trevor Harris, who's welcomed his 3rd son into the world. You may remember he left training camp, actually, for a week to go back to Ohio while his wife, Kaylee, gave birth to a trip little man. And you could see his 2 older sons. They were so excited when they saw him run onto the field today because it's the first game they've been able to see their dad in the green and white. So you can tell that early age where they're already falling in love with the game of football and watching their dad.
Thank you, Brett. Awesome story, and we wish happy Father's Day to both of them and everyone else. And you saw Kaylee there with young Tripp and Trenton and Trace as well, the Harris family, enjoying watching their dad play here in his home debut with the Roughriders.
And now that group hoping that their defense can figure out Zach Collaros and this Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense. Pretty efficient in this second half.
Micah Johnson, injured earlier in the game, is back in up front, and a big situation defensively for Saskatchewan. They need a stop. They still need 2 scores. They're down 11. Under 6:40 to go here in the 4th quarter. That's Collaros and that Winnipeg offense. It's been excellent tonight again. And that'll certainly help Saskatchewan's cause as they have a 2nd and long coming up now after that short carry by Johnny Augustine.
Yeah, that's what you want to do defensively, but this is also what Buck Pierce wants to do offensively. 2 back-to-back runs. grinds the clock down even more. You've got the lead. Now you're running the football. You're keeping it in bounds. I think we're going to have to throw it here, but I like screen draw sometimes in this situation as well.
Give them something they may not be expecting, right? 2nd and 7 coming up. The heat's coming. They nearly got him, but they didn't. And Collaros takes off again. And just down, he slides right near the first down mark. Zach Collaros is having a good night running the football. You said earlier, first touchdown run he's had in 7 years. 8 years.
Well, he's doing, Rod, what he needs to do to get it done. I mean, he's not known to be a huge runner, but he will when this pressure breaks down. I mean, Jason Shivers has sent 3 men in some of these situations on 2nd and long, and Zach Collaros is trying to find those players down in smaller windows down the field. And as at times, most of the time tonight, got it done. That time they sent 6, and he found a lane.
3 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown for Zach Collaros on the ground. Go to the ground again with Johnny Augustine. Down inside the 45.
Yeah, grind the clock. Grind the clock. Brady Oliveira banged up through the preseason and training camp, and it's a breather there. Hopefully he's okay.
Very interesting early on in the CFL season. We're just in week 2. It's a look ahead for Winnipeg. They host BC next week, and Saskatchewan goes to Calgary. The Stampeders picking up their first win in Ottawa last night. Riders trying to find a way to come back and beat Winnipeg here tonight. They're in a hole, and that won't help. First down, Dalton Schoen and more. Schoen finally knocked down by Deontay Williams as Roland Milligan was trying to tackle him, but another big connection. Collaros to Schoen and a first down deep here for Winnipeg.
Dembski comes in to help in the protection. Schoen on the inside road. He takes a big hit, but bounces up.
Deontay Williams, his first year out of Nebraska. And that knockdown, but the pressure really on the Rider defense again with the ball at the Saskatchewan 11. Running out of time, down 11. First down on the ground again. No, the faked Augustine and rolling to his right. Collaros into the end zone. Touchdown Winnipeg. Drew Wolodarski picks up another. He had one last week against Hamilton. And the Bombers late in the game really opening up their lead.
Well, and it's the way they're doing it too. And again, I give the credit. You got to give the credit to this offense and the coordination of it, and just how much variety is in there. Misdirection, moving the launch point to make sure that Zach Collaros isn't in the pocket every single 2nd and long, depending on the coverage. Whether it's been
this team.
Dropping everybody and sending 3, they're finding holes. I don't think Jaden Dalkey's been in this game for a while. I think he's been nicked.
Castillo gets that point after, as Winnipeg goes 5 for 5 inside the score zone, inside the 20. Wolodarski, with that catch, goes over 2,000 yards for his career. Won't forget that either. You heard him saying he loves this team. This team is getting closer to a 2-0 start.
See the movie everyone is calling the best Spider-Man film ever made. 5 stars.
And a B in Spanish.
Ooh, okay.
Miles. Are you mira.
Kill your mother. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now playing.
I just asked.
I asked. We just asked.
Is Ozempic right for you? Just ask your doctor.
Imagine the possibilities with the new Lotto 649. With 2 jackpots, the classic jackpot of $5 million, plus the growing gold ball jackpot of $10 million. 5
you're possible.
Special K cereals have real strawberries, real almonds, and are made with whole grain. Real ingredients, real delicious.
Cheez-It in 10 cheesy flavors. Cheesy, crunchy, satisfaction.
Since the dawn of game, a rivalry has divided men, and Team Smooth chooses Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. Effortless shaving in one efficient stroke with a lifetime warranty. Choose your game face.
Great game, Scotty. Any thoughts?
Can I eat this right now? Nah, I shouldn't. Should I? Yes, way. Tasty and smoky, the Stampede Biscuit.
From the creator of Euphoria comes the new HBO original series starring The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp. The Idol streams now only on Crave. Halfway through week 2, just about. Nick Dembski, Drew Wolodarski, and a good night for the Winnipeg offense and the team overall. Big special teams play as well, but finally they can get a little more comfortable. Saskatchewan had made it so interesting. Back and forth they went earlier in this game, but now standing at 45-27 with not much time, just a few minutes to go here at Mosaic.
Well, and at this point, is Craig Dickinson going to send out Mason Fine?
Jamal Morrow on the return and gets that up across the 25. Harris is coming back on. They're down 18.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. I bet. Hey, can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure. It's wireless. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking. Me too.
Buick Envision, built around you, all of you. Spring into summer with the Envision Avenir and get 3.99% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can get a $750 bonus on select models.
Kids need sports. Jumpstart needs you. So say yes to donating this Jumpstart month to help give kids the chance to participate in sport and play. Now that's a whole lot to cheer about. Donate at jumpstart.canadiantire.ca.
Explorer looked far and wide for it. It took 200 years to find the gold.
Rookies. I can find gold online in seconds.
And gold has been a safe haven in times of turmoil. And gold has even kept its value through inflation.
Bro, I've been there, but gold saved my portfolio. A tip for you. Visit invest.gold.
Visit invest.gold to see why gold is everyone's asset.
BC Lions home opener tomorrow against the Edmonton Elks. Our panel is there. LL Cool J to perform before the game, and expecting a great atmosphere at BC Place. Glenn and I'll be hopping on a plane early in the morning to get to Vancouver, and looking forward to that one, as we were to this one tonight. And it did not disappoint for Craig Dickinson's team, though, running out of time. And what for a while had been good back and forth play by these two offenses. Trevor Harris still in this game. They're down 18. And it's Sean Bain tiptoeing down the sideline, breaking free until Malik Clemens finally pushes him out of bounds. 2:37 on the clock. A big play for Bain with his new team.
He's the trailer. A little swing hitch out there, and then away he goes. Lots of room on the sideline. Not pushed out of bounds there. Showing a nice burst of speed. Down 3 possessions, though. I was thinking the same thing. I mean, Trevor Harris, I guess, is going to finish this game.
See if we can finish off a drive quickly. Not that way, as the heat comes. And you saw Malik Clemens was the one that that pushed Bain out of bounds. This time blitzing comes in and takes Harris down.
Well, I think this will be talked about. I mean, first of all, good football game that was down to the wire with about 8 or 9 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter. And then that Bomber offense took over. There was that PI call. They finished that drive with a major, and then Zach Collaros went to work. So that's where it got out of hand. But this will be questioned, I'm sure. Craig Dickinson with that decision late against Edmonton last week. And down 3 possessions.
Winnipeg 43 in and out of the hands of Jamal Morrow on that second down play. So a third down coming up, and down 18. Not going to be any sign of punt or field goal. Going for it here late. 2:16 on the clock. It's Mason Fine, the backup quarterback, who started the last 2 games of the regular season instead of Cody Fajardo.
It's a little risky. This is a little risky for Trevor Harris. And
third and 19. Big Thomas chasing him. He takes off. And he's certainly no chance at a first down. Don't want to see him take a hit. So out of bounds he goes. They turn it over on downs. And Winnipeg is going to wrap up this game to go to 2-0. Still 2 minutes on the clock, but up 45-27 as Harris will head off.
Well, the team to beat in the league remains the team to beat in the league. That's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And, you know, really showing how they are a 3-phase football team. I mean, Michael O'Shea got great production out of his offense tonight. His defense gave up some points. Trevor Harris was going toe-to-toe for a long time there with Zach Collaros, but they shut the door a couple of times in that fourth quarter to give a couple more possessions to Collaros.
And they had a great start too last week against Hamilton, although some big plays made it a closer game than it probably should have been.
And then the big return.
And then the big
so the special teams contributing as well.
The game breaker, Janarian Grant, you're right. That was the one that really did open it up tonight when he took that one all the way for the touchdown. And just Mike O'Shea talking to us a couple of days ago. It just said he was happy with the way things went against Hamilton. He wasn't going to dump on the team because there were 3 mistakes made: a scoop and score, a block punt for a touchdown, and then Janarian Grant himself coughing one up that led to a Hamilton touchdown and a much closer finish. But overall, the Bombers have looked good.
They have looked good, and what is going to be talked about now is Brady Oliveira didn't finish that last couple of series. He's been a little bit of pain on that sideline, so we'll see what that is. He's describing the pain to his teammates right now. We didn't see Jaden Dahlke, the safety that played very well in the first game of the season, controlling the middle of the defense for Saskatchewan. He didn't play in the second half.
Back to the ground, and Johnny Augustine in for the injured Oliveira.
And I only bring that up with Dahlke because on some of those second and longs, or you know, when it was even second and more than 10, Zach Collaros dropped back, was deep in the pocket, and hit 20-yard dig routes right over the middle to get a new set of downs.
Right.
And you know, when you get a young, and I'm not blaming Nelson Lacombo, but when you get a young Nelson Lacombo in there playing probably a little deeper than normal because he's getting that start. Dahlke didn't play in the second half. That's where the Bombers and their veteran offense went after.
Jaden Dahlke from the Alberta Golden Bears. And then an impressive game last week for that Rider defense back home for him in Edmonton.
How was Zach Collaros, though? I mean, again, you just sit down and talk to him about the game and his just, I know all the quarterbacks, they know the reads and the defenses and all of that, but it seems like he just keeps taking it to another level. And him working with Buck Pierce and how they mix things up. I mean, not necessarily pass and run tonight. It's a lot of pass first stuff, but the way they move the pocket, the way they move him outside, sometimes he'll escape up the middle and just manage it and throw on the run.
Loves the receivers he has, and consider too that they got Kenny Lawler back, and he's suspended because of immigration issues. And Johnny Augustine has a big hole left side. Was tackled there by Amari Henderson, but gets a first down. A little over a minute left. So you imagine Kenny Lawler, the way he looked last year with Edmonton, coming back to Winnipeg, and He can be a receiving spectacle. There's a lot of weapons for Collaros.
And if you're wondering, we asked Michael O'Shea about any updates with Kenny Lawler. He said not at this point. They're still going through the process there, so not sure how long he'll be out. But yeah, I mean, team that got to the Grey Cup without him last year, but you add him to this core. Wow.
Make that receiving core that much better. The clock ticks down. And the home opener for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 2023. It'll drop the record to 1-1, but in terms of the addition of Trevor Harris, they have a lot to, I think, be excited about. The way Harris looked for much of this game and the way they were able to answer back Winnipeg when the Bombers had taken the lead. Trevor Harris throwing for over 400 yards, and they said those 3 touchdowns to Samuel Emilus. They've had their fair share of injuries in the receiving core, so still some good offensive signs for Craig Dickinson and Saskatchewan in a losing cause in this one. They will meet again here at Mosaic in early September in the annual Labor Day game the week after that in the Banjo Bowl. Zach Collaros takes a knee. Winnipeg takes another win against their rivals on the prairie.
Well, hey, the Bombers' last loss at Mosaic Stadium was 2019. That streak remains intact.
8-0 with the Bombers against the Riders, a team he once played for back in 2018. The Riders had reason for excitement in their home opener, and they delivered through much of the game with that combination of Trevor Harris and Samuel Emilus. But the Bombers have been #1 for a reason, and they racked up a lot of points in this one, 45 in all. Winnipeg improves to 2-0. They get BC next week. The Riders in Calgary. Thanks for watching Friday Night Football. SportsCenter's next on TSN.
Welcome back inside SportsCenter. Welcome our viewers from the Blue Bombers and Riders game. Friday Night Football did not disappoint in the CFL. Both of these teams looking to remain perfect. They both want that 2-0 record.
Yeah, and especially with the Blue Bombers coming in, of course, as Grey Cup favorites this year. They backed it up, sending a message to the Hamilton Ticats, who have some pretty big aspirations, hosting the Grey Cup this year. And Winnipeg backed it up again in Week 2 against the Riders. Zach Collaros coming off a 350-yard, 3-touchdown performance in that win against Hamilton. Picking up in the second quarter. Bombers down 7-3. Collaros finds one of his favorite targets, Dalton Schoen, the most productive connection in the CFL last season, combined for their first TD of 2023. Bombers take the lead. Then, under 3 to go in the half, Collaros decides to run with it and takes it in for the 7-yard score. Already is league-leading 5th total touchdown of the season. Meanwhile, Trevor Harris was a game-time decision with a hip injury, playing through it. Watch him escape the pocket, then make a great throw on the run. Samuel Emilus hauls in the diving grab. Harris had 193 first-half passing yards, more than he had in the entire Week 1 performance. Riders down 3 at the half. Then in the second half, Harris finds Emilus for the 6-yard touchdown, his 3rd touchdown of the game, all of them to Emilus. Riders take the lead, but later in the quarter, Winnipeg back up by 3, Saskatchewan punting.
Over 8 punt. Gets a nice roll, too, chasing Grant inside the 20. He breaks out to the left. They keep coming. Morgan Hughes. Can't get him. He is breaking free. Janarian Grant still on his feet. Still in bounds. Inside the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Winnipeg.
We were all reacting into this onset. An incredible 90-yard punt return touchdown. It was originally flagged for an illegal block, but it was overturned on the review. And Winnipeg is now 2-0 to start the year with a 45-27 victory over the Riders. Since becoming a member of the Blue Bombers in 2019, Zach Collaros is undefeated against Saskatchewan, an 8-0 record against the Riders, which includes the regular season and the playoffs. With more on the Bombers' win over the Riders, let's welcome in Rod Smith.
Well, you can say this much about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, offense especially, 45 points on the board, some special teams in there too, but in week 1 against Hamilton and in week 2 here in Saskatchewan, they are in midseason form.
Yeah, they really are, and Zach Collaros looked great tonight. The two quarterbacks, two veteran quarterbacks, he and Trevor Harris, really went toe-to-toe for 3 straight quarters, but Collaros kept it going into the 4th, and, I mean, it didn't matter if he was deep in the pocket, throwing it down the field against coverage, or whether the Riders tried to throw some blitz packages at him. He would get himself some extra time. He would manage the pocket. Sometimes he took off. He actually had a rushing touchdown for the first time since 2015. Here it is right here. Had some fun with that with his teammates on the sideline. Just outstanding from top to bottom. That doesn't mean you don't go 2 and out every now and then, but this was a great offensive performance. Week 1, the defenses pretty much won in all 4 games. Week 2, the offenses are catching up.
Yeah, 38 points generated by that Bomber offense now. And here's what Zach Collaros had to say afterwards to Britt Dort.
All right, well, Zach, you're actually 8-0 against the Riders as a Bomber. So what's it like when you come out here and you play this team every time? We know it's a big battle, but you come out with the win.
This is just a great atmosphere to play in. It was really rocking here tonight. They made it difficult on us. I thought we did a good job executing our game plan, scored some points. You know, Janarian kind of broke us away there in the 3rd quarter, and it was just an awesome atmosphere to play in.
Well, what can you say about your offense tonight? Because it felt like every time the Riders would try to get some momentum, you guys would respond even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to weather the storm. You know, again, it's a crazy environment here, so they had some momentum. Trevor played an unbelievable game, especially given the circumstances, so hats off to him and the offense. But, yeah, you know, we were able to stay on the field and score touchdowns when we needed to, so that was awesome.
Well, now you start the season 2-0. You know you have the Lions next week back at home. What kind of challenge is that going to be for this team?
I mean, they're a great football team. We played them in the West Final last year. They got a great group coming back. It's gonna be a challenge for sure.
All right, well, thanks so much. Good job.
Now here's the schedule and odds for the remaining CFL games in week 2, powered by FanDuel. The Elks visit BC looking for their first win of the season. Edmonton is a 7.5-point underdog. Following that, Hamilton visits Toronto on Sunday. The Argos playing their first game of the season after having a bye in week 1. The Boatmen won 3 of the 4 meetings over the Ticats last year. And with more on Hamilton versus Toronto, here's David Sanchez and Milt Stiegel.
Sanchez, Stiegel, we don't agree on much except for what to do with our hair today. Hamilton Ticats, yes. For some reason, yes, they're favored on the road in week 2 against the Argos, and you like them. Plead your case, because I think you're crazy.
No, it has more to do with the Toronto Argonauts starting quarterback, Chad Kelly, more so than the Hamilton Ticats. Okay. Yes, this is his first game starting as a professional quarterback. Eventually, he's going to be good, but this is his first game, Chad.
Okay, but what you saw in week 1 from the Ticats, you want to back them on the road against the Argos, who basically returned everybody.
Great supporting cast. For the supporting cast and director, this is his first time directing them. We don't know what we're going to get. We know Bo Levi Mitchell's going to get better. We know that. Chad Kelly, we just don't know.
I didn't see enough from the Ticats in week 1. I think this Argos roster, you would agree, has a lot of the same pieces. They're still loaded. They're at home. And I believe in the pure talent of Chad Kelly. I like the Argos plus money. Milt likes the Hamilton Ticats -1.5 on this edition of Head to Head.
Thanks, boys. More on the Elks-Lions game when we return.